But reality is often crueler than fantasy. Despite grand ambitions of summoning gods, he wakes to a shocking realization. He isn't the glorious hero of this story, but a desperate soul on the brink of ruin. Zooming in, a dilapidated prison cart bumps along the muddy road. Inside, a blue-haired youth looks haggard. Memories of past wealth burst like bubbles, leaving only the bitter irony of being history's unluckiest reincarnator. He refuses to accept this. Falsely accused of embezzlement and exiled, the prince has fallen to a prisoner. Cold shackles bind his trembling hands, a symbol not just of his fall, but of a one-way ticket to death. An era of gods and demons. Gazing at the powerful cultivators in the sky, Jun, at a mere chi refining stage, feels crushing despair. Even his guards overpower him. He is nothing but an ant waiting to be crushed. Suddenly, the cart screeches to a halt, shattering the silence. Jun grips the bars in panic, peering out as a sense of impending doom instantly chokes him. The mask drops. Guards abandon all pretense, dragging him violently from the cage. With a dull thud, Jun hits the ground hard. This isn't exile. It's a premeditated royal assassination. Before a gloomy cave, Jun collapses, trying to use his princely title as a final shield. But to these executioners following orders, he is nothing more than a political stain that must be erased. Blades pierce flesh, sending agony through his body. The guards beat him mercilessly, mocking him with every blow. Blood stains the ground. The former prince is trampled like trash, his life force flickering out. Just as his consciousness fades into eternal darkness, ding! A crisp electronic sound explodes in his mind. The mythical summoning system awakens at the very precipice of death. The guards grin fiercely, thinking their job is done. They miss the chilling, manic smile forming on the bloody Jun's lips. Summon, start. Another heavy kick. Jun's body curls in agony, his vision blurring. He screams internally. Why is there no response yet? Is this final hope just a dying hallucination? Boom! A terrifying pillar of blue energy crashes from the sky, instantly obliterating the arrogant guards. As the dust settles, a stunning figure floats in the air, descending like a god to awe the battlefield. Amidst flowing light, 9 massive fox tails slowly unfurl. The system panel pops up. Congratulations, host. You have successfully summoned the legendary calamitous beauty, the 9-tailed fox, Sudaji. The guards are terrified to their cores, but Jun is mesmerizingly stunned. Daji gently caresses his face, whispering comfort. In this moment, fear vanishes, replaced by heart-pounding ecstasy. This is his demon fox. Daji turns, her beautiful eyes flashing with cold malice. The terrifying pressure of the void transformation realm sweeps out as she looks down on the trembling ants. Those who harm my lord deserve 1,000 deaths. Cornered, the guards launch a final, desperate suicidal charge, roaring as they rush towards the invincible entity. In the rainy night, the feast of slaughter has just begun. Energy erupts, blasting soldiers away like dust. While the crowd watches in shock, the instigator simply strokes her cheek with an elegant, scornful smile. With a flick of Daji's finger, the chains shatter. Regaining his freedom, Jun feels not anger at her delay, but a strange thrill under the gaze of this peerless enchantress. With a single strike, the enemy is brought to his knees. Facing the interruption, Daji's eyes turn cold as energy surges at her fingertips. Absolute disdain for the weak. Looking at the corpse, Jun's pupils dilate. A murder? Fear lasts only a second before survival instinct takes over. In this dog-eat-dog world, mercy is a death sentence. Sinking his consciousness into the virtual space, Jun scrutinizes this game-like system. Despite his doubts about its digital nature, he knows that right now, strength is the only truth. Since he can't resist the hand fate has dealt, he might as well enjoy the ride. A devilish smirk plays on Jun's lips as his gaze turns utterly firm and cold. Daji cripples the enemies. Jun reaps the lives. Golden light flashes as levels soar. This rocket-like speed of growth makes him burst in a manic laughter. Calming down from the euphoria, he opens his status panel. 5th stage, Chi refining. This is just the beginning. Watching the data fluctuate, the flames of ambition burn ever brighter. Suddenly, a crimson mission panel pops up. Fratricide for revenge, even ruling the empire. The warning of erasure upon failure hangs over him like the sword of Damocles, forcing him to fight for his life. Sun Wukong, Neza, Erlang Shun. if he can summon these Chinese war gods. Conquering this world will be child's play. Trembling with excitement, he decisively hits random draw. As the golden light fades, what appears before him is a desert eagle, drawing a firearm with infinite ammo in a cultivation world. What a bizarre twist. Is this actually useful? Skeptical, he pulls the trigger. The golden true chi bullet instantly shatters the cliff face. With power like a small cannon and zero recoil, his doubt instantly turns to ecstasy. Faced with Daji's innocent question, "Why is your gun so small?" Qin Jun instantly crumbles, waving his hands in a flustered explanation. In front of this pure fox spirit, his dirty mind almost got the better of him. Confirming that King Zhou doesn't exist in Daji's memories, a weight lifts off Qin Jun's heart. As heavy rain pours down, soaking her beautiful form, a bold idea strikes him: bath time. Under the moonlight, Daji's enchanting eyes seem to glisten. Her fingertips graze Qin Jun's cheek, and with a coquettish master, she instantly pierces through his mental defenses. Whether it's the hunger for power or the fatal temptation before him, his blood boils uncontrollably. The suppressed excitement completely consumes him in the deepening night. Under the moonlight, silence wraps the forest. Unable to bear the travel's dust, Daji flushes pink, shyly begging her lord for a moment of intimate cleansing, adding a touch of romance to the air. Fingertips graze the surface, sending ripples outward. She sinks into the cool water, the silence washing away fatigue, leaving behind only a heart-racing, sensual tension. Lost in a poetic daze, Daji's heart races in a romantic fantasy of flying with her lord. But reality crashes in. The splash of a falling sword instantly shatters the pink dream. Water sprays as bare feet shatter the lake's calm. Daji turns, her gaze shifting from shy to concerned, quietly watching the frantic figure disturb the peace. "Are you just going to stand there?" Flustered and expectant, Daji blushes furiously. Upon hearing his response, her annoyance melts into sweet excitement as she splashes playfully in the water. Suddenly, the lake erupts. Daji's eyes widen in sheer terror. Not fish, but people. Two bedraggled figures crash into their private sanctuary, their screams piercing the night. Beneath the surface, Chang Qianqian, daughter of the sect master, drifts in exhaustion. Tears merge with the lake water, despair and fatigue binding her terrified heart like invisible chains. It's not over. Chang Hao's desperate cries fail to dispel the gloom. The nightmare incarnate, General Xiaoan, has caught up, his killing intent suffocating the very air. This man possesses a deceptive beauty, masking the soul of a butcher. Beneath that cold, composed exterior lies a rotten, bloodthirsty monster responsible for countless atrocities. Facing the approaching foe, Chang Hao roars in despair, trying to warn the clueless. Qin Jun fear and rage collide violently in their locked gazes. The air itself seems to freeze. Golden Core Realm? Just an ant. Daji smirks dismissively at Chang Hao's hysterical warning. Such contempt for a powerhouse leaves the fugitive stunned, convinced they are witnessing madness. The insult ignites an explosion of rage. Xiao En transforms into a meteor of fire, his spear crashing down with destructive force, vowing to crush these arrogant ants into dust. Gods and demons heed the call. Amidst desperate cries and greedy slaughter, Qin Jun stands at the eye of the storm, clutching his trump card, ready to rewrite the battle. What a beauty! Lecherous eyes fixate on Daji as Xiao En reaches out with wicked intent. Qin Jun snorts coldly, lightning crackling around him. "Save it. Your opponent is me." Before the words fade, blue lightning tears through the rain. Daji unleashes her power, transforming into a streak of lethal electricity to clash head-on with the beast. Boom! The impact shakes the forest. Knocked back by the monstrous force, Xiao En roars in fury amidst flying debris, his contempt instantly replaced by shock and murderous intent. Fire and lightning intertwine, every collision trembling the earth. Watching the seemingly delicate woman dominate a golden core expert, the bystanders' jaws drop in absolute disbelief. The verdict is in. Looking down at the blood-spitting Xiao En, Qin Jun mocks, "Thanks for coming all this way to deliver your head." That gratitude cuts deeper than any blade. Bleeding and cornered, the enemy general plots a desperate gambit. As Daji's icy command to kill falls, he ignites his life force for one final, explosive strike. A scream tears through the air. The desperate attack isn't aimed at Daji, but straight at Qin Jun. Panic erupts as the girls realize the Lord is in the crosshairs. A gunshot rings out. Before the attack can land, Jun's Desert Eagle blows the enemy away. Smoke curls from a barrel as the system chimes the sweet sound of victory. Euphoria explodes. A golden vortex swirls around him as he breaks through. Jun clutches his chest, intoxicated by the surge of power and the promise of a new summon. Ignoring the bystander's shock, Jun prays for the Monkey King. The wheel spins, but instead of a name, 3 baffling question marks appear. What on earth did he summon? Heart-pounding, anticipation suffocates him. Could the mystery imply a being too powerful to name? Perhaps the great sage himself? The suspense is absolutely electric. With a 24-hour wait ahead, Jun suppresses his impatience and turns to immediate gains. He spots the fallen general's storage ring. Time for some classic RPG looting. Daji smiles seductively, guiding his hand to bind the ring with blood. Jun's heart skips a beat, partly from her touch, partly from the legendary loot revealed inside. Just as he tries to dismiss the group, Daji senses danger. Jun freezes, horror dawning on his face. The figure approaching. Is it that the dead general's body? Vengeful soldiers roar through the trees. Daji offers to slaughter them, but Jun steps forward, his sword igniting with flames. These aren't enemies, they're walking experience points. It's a massacre. Jun dances through the battlefield, reaping lives like wheat. The system notifications scroll endlessly, a symphony of death and leveling up. The battle ends in a heartbeat. Jun turns to leave, cold as ice. Panic sets in for Chang Qianqian. She swallows her pride, begging and offering riches for his protection. Jun starts to refuse, but the system chimes, 10,000 EXP reward. His icy demeanor instantly flips to a sunny grin. Leave it to me. Protecting the weak is my duty. Her desperation triggered a hidden mechanic. The system announces, side quest unlocked. Reward, skill inheritance mode. Jun stares at the interface, stunned by the windfall. Is this the hero treatment? In his mind, he's already donning a cape. Jun grins from ear to ear, fantasizing about the invincible god skills he's about to inherit. Inheriting skills directly from gods? He laughs maniacally at the cheat-like potential. It takes Daji's gentle reminder to rest to bring him back from his power-drunk fantasy. Under the silent moonlight and dancing fireflies, the group waits. The night is peaceful, but beneath the calm, a storm of power is brewing within their leader. Light shifts, and Chang Xianxian gasps in shock. The once beggar has washed away the grime to reveal a stunningly handsome and cold youth. The night breeze chills, and the girl shyly asks for protection. Jun agrees indifferently, and under the starry sky, they find a rare moment of peace. Peace shatters instantly. A massive, eerie phantom looms over the wasteland as Su Daji and Jun look up, sensing the approaching scent of death. Rank 5 means void transformation. Su Daji coolly explains the laws of power, unaware that behind these rules, a soul is undergoing a terrifying metamorphosis. The argument about realms halts abruptly. Before Chang Xianxian can vent her anger, the ground trembles violently, and a suffocating aura erupts instantly. Boom! A devastating shockwave sweeps across the wilderness, dust blotting out the sky as it ruthlessly swallows all signs of life, as if the world is collapsing. The cultivator in blue screams in despair as the blast blows him away, while Chang Xianxian watches the apocalyptic scene, nearly suffocating from terror. The beast tide floods in. Desperate cries echo everywhere. Some beg for their lives while others fly away coldly, humanity crumbling instantly in the face of death. In the nick of time, golden light bursts from the sky. A majestic divine hound descends with thunderous momentum, crashing down. Roaring heavenly hound. Seeing the divine beast stats on the system panel, Jun clenches his fists, shock instantly turning into wild ecstasy. The sand settles as they land. The hound nuzzles Jun gently. A single my lord speaks volumes of loyalty, offering a glimmer of hope to the exhausted group. As the beast tide closes in, the surrounding cultivators fall into deeper panic, staring at this demon king in terror, believing their doomsday has arrived. Roaring heavenly hound, repel them. At Jun's command, the hound roars to the heavens, its terrifying power shocking the crowd into silence. Revere my lord as you do me, the hound declares dominantly, clearing obstacles with fire. Jun stands tall, his regal aura undeniable. After 5 days of trekking through wind and sand, the bustling Qingtan city finally appears. The girls cheer, their tense nerves finally relaxing. Let's get a bath first. They smile at each other and decide to split up, the air filled with a long-lost sense of relaxation and joy. On the bustling street, a careless moment leads to a collision. Amidst the startled cry, a new encounter quietly begins to unfold. Amidst the bustling market of Qingtan City, Qin Jun revels in the worldly atmosphere, unaware of the conflict brewing deep within the crowd. Yet beneath the calm surface, his instincts sharply detect an unusual disturbance in the air. The Chung family is the law here. Amidst the indifferent crowd, the scholar Chen Shuli is publicly humiliated, his dignity trampled. The source of this cruelty is none other than Cheng Jie, the young master, wearing a sneer of unbridled arrogance. A war wages in Qin Jun's mind. To intervene risks exposing his identity as the prince, but to stand by goes against his conscience. Suddenly, his gaze locks onto someone in the crowd, pupils constricting. It's the girl from earlier. As Chun Miaoyin steps forward, the system alert chimes. Yet, it fails to stop Cheng Jie's vicious violence from landing. A gust of wind sends hair flying wildly. In a split second, the situation spirals out of control. Qin Jun hesitates before the terrified girl, until Cheng Jie arrogantly roars the words that seal his fate. Tonight, I'm having dog meat soup. Who do you think you are? Facing Cheng Jie's roar, Qin Jun holds back no longer, crashing into the fray with overwhelming momentum. Cheng Jie prepares to strike, but his eyes catch Qin Jun's attire, the unmistakable uniform of the Imperial Guard. Terror instantly floods his face. His arrogance extinguished, Cheng Jie drops to his knees, kowtowing in terror, fearing he has offended a powerful figure from the capital. Playing along, Qin Jun coldly dismisses the crowd while his mind races to the system. Who is this genius of righteousness you mentioned? Learning the scholar is a rare governing talent, Qin Jun rejoices. Meanwhile, deep within the Cheng estate, the atmosphere becomes suffocating. Idiot! Upon hearing the report, Cheng Zhan, the family head, sees through the disguise instantly, deducing Qin Jun's true identity. The Imperial Guard shouldn't be here at this time. Unless that man is the exiled third prince himself. Heaven helps me. Greed overcomes fear as Cheng Zhan grins viciously, ordering a citywide manhunt to seize this delivered prize. Morning light filters through the inn as steam rises from the tea. Facing the roaring sky dog's question about vengeance, Qin Jun remains calm, a flicker of resolve in his eyes. This is personal. Suddenly, a sharp cry shatters the silence. The daughter of the Xianling sect lashes out in fury, her kick landing with the sickening thud of a bursting fruit, twisting the offender's face in shock. Before Qin Jun can react, a soft embrace envelopes him, prompting an awkward cough. Meanwhile, Daji's lazy voice drifts in, smiling, yet sending the surroundings into instant, chaotic panic. My lord, demonic energy. Daji's warning makes Qin Jun frown, but he quickly composes himself. Since it cannot be avoided, he won't dwell on it. Kicking over a medicine pot, his mind is made up. Capture Qin Jun, the beauties are mine. Cheng Jie bursts in arrogantly, his greedy gaze wandering, unaware that these insolent words have just sealed his doom. Facing his advances, Daji's eyes flash cold. With a disdainful snort, violent blue energy erupts. The once arrogant Cheng Jie is instantly blasted away, leaving only miserable screams and hollow threats. If you seek death, so be it. The blue system panel unfolds beneath the starry sky, revealing the Remove the Weeds quest. Qin Jun stands beside Daji. The hunt has officially begun. The cold glint of a desert eagle reflects in Qin Jun's eyes. Just as Cheng Jie demands he kneel, a gunshot tears through the air. The sharp chime of the system notification signals the first step of vengeance is complete. Ignoring the greedy gasps for his magic weapon, Qin Jun holsters his gun, his expression ice cold. He turns, ordering them to take the body, his hair dancing wildly in the wind. Let's go. Today, we flatten the Chung family. The body is dragged along as Daji lets out a bloodthirsty sneer under the stars, and the roaring sky dog bares its fangs. This ominous squad is crushing its way toward the Chung family, vowing to exact justice. News spreads like wildfire. Whispers of the Chung family kicked an iron plate filling the streets. Above the towering Chung estate, a killing aura descends. Years of oppression will be reckoned today. This is a gift for your patriarch. Facing the guard's harsh shouts, Qin Jun's lips curl into a cruel smile. Before his words fade, A blue energy wave blasts through the gates, exploding amidst the guard screams. Who is it? Who dares kill my nephew? Seeing Chung Jie's cold corpse, the red-haired elder is consumed by rage. Flames erupt around him as his roar shatters the air. A mere foundation building it. Facing the elder's earth-shattering flame attack, Qin Jun doesn't even bother to lift a finger. Daji steps forward with a charming laugh, while Qin Jun clenches his fist amidst the fire. I cannot hide behind a woman forever. I must become stronger. Golden light erupts, shockwaves roll. The once arrogant elder is instantly blown away like a kite with a cut string. In the face of absolute power, his rage is pale and futile. A deafening boom shakes the earth. Wiping sweat from his brow, Qin Jun smirks arrogantly within the energy storm, mocking his powerful foe. This isn't just a fight, it's a trial. Enduring the pain, Qin Jun's eyes burn with determination. He will use this enemy as a whetstone to sharpen his power. The enemy goes berserk, flames roaring to the sky. His twisted face screams through the fire, vowing to sacrifice Qin Jun's blood to the dead. Before Daji's warning fades, it's over. As the flames die out, the crisp chime of the system announces victory, a reward from the Reaper. Dust settles. Watching the minions flee in panic to report, Qin Jun's eyes turn cold. He signals the advance. If they want war, we march right in. Meanwhile, the atmosphere in the City Lord's manor is suffocating. The Patriarch slams the table in fury, demanding to know who dares threaten the Chung family. Elsewhere, under warm candlelight, a girl reveals her savior's identity to her father, a name that strikes like thunder. The third prince, Qin Jun. The grim news reaches the Chung family. Learning of his son and the Grand Elder's death, the Patriarch's eyes turn bloodshot, rage consuming his sanity. They dare come alone. Flames of vengeance erupt around him. The grieving father transforms into a streak of light, vowing to make the killers pay in blood. At this very moment, Qin Jun and his team are tearing through the courtyard like a broken bamboo, closing in on the Chung family's core with every second. Reckless minions swarm, but for Qin Jun, it's just a harvest game. Watching the experience points fly up, a cruel smile of delight plays on his lips. The Chung Patriarch lands with a boom, killing intent boiling over. Glaring at the intruders with crimson eyes, he screams his intent to tear them to pieces. You think you're worthy? Daji sneers. Amidst falling petals and rising blue demon energy, she elegantly steps in to block the berserk force. How can a mortal withstand the fox demon's might? With a flick of her finger, a massive energy wave blasts the Patriarch away. Absolute domination. He can't beat the Demoness. His gaze turns venomous, locking onto the seemingly weakest link, Qin Jun. Killing the boy is the only way to get revenge. Sudden crisis. The Patriarch launches a desperate ambush from air. It's so fast that even Daji screams a terrified warning. My lord, watch out. The flaming fist crashes down like a mountain. Qin Jun snaps his head up. Instead of fear, he faces death with a look of sharp, absolute resolve. Golden light erupts. The counterkill takes but an instant. Chung Zhan is vaporized. Bathed in the glory of leveling up, Qin Jun declares, side quest complete. Daji gazes up, her eyes brimming with tenderness and concern. Qin Jun returns a steady look, his voice calm, yet resolute, insisting that he must face the perils of this cultivation world without being overprotected. Guilt prickles at Daji's heart as she vows to never let her guard down again. Moments later, she stands as a merciless queen commanding the guards to flee, while outside, the cheers of the people erupt like thunder over the Chung family's fall. Smoke still lingers when the system's chime announces the quest completion. Just as Daji smiles in triumph, the heavy thud of approaching footsteps breaks the mood. The city lord has arrived. Qin Jun walks with his hands behind his back, exuding an aura of absolute authority. As the crowd kneels in awe, the title of Third Prince echoes through the streets, restoring the dignity and power that was once stripped from him. The people's tearful accusations of the Chung family's atrocities strike like heavy blows. Tears well up in Qin Jun's eyes, only to be consumed by a blazing rage as he clenches his fists and vows that such evil is gone forever. Entrusting the aftermath to the city lord, Qin Jun turns to leave without hesitation. Behind him, the gratitude of the people swells, while the golden light on his shoulders highlights the weight of his newfound responsibility. The setting sun casts long shadows as Qin Jun gazes into the distance, his eyes burning with resolve. In this dog-eat-dog world, a grand vision takes root in his heart, to sweep away the rot, ascend the throne, and forge a golden age. 2 days later, the mist-shrouded Xianling sect comes into view, its majesty surpassing any game from his past life. As Qin Jun climbs the stone steps, he can't help but marvel at the breathtaking grandeur of the cultivation world. The moment he steps into the sect, the system rewards trigger, and golden flames erupt as his cultivation surges. Glancing at his excited companions, Qin Jun smirks with calculation. Bringing these burdens along was worth it. Qin Jun calls out to stop them, intending to discuss rewards, but the girl instantly blushes. Lost in a romantic delusion, she imagines the prince has fallen for her, filling the air with imaginary pink bubbles. While the girl swoons, her male companion hides a sinister glint in his eyes, cursing Qin Jun's arrogance. Qin Jun, unfazed, casually mentions the one bargaining chip that will silence his royal father, Xiahou An's head. Dropping all pretenses, Qin Jun leaps onto a high vantage point and roars into the sunrise. His cry of "I'm back" echoes with kingly dominance, announcing his triumphant return to the entire Xianling sect. Faced with a request from this little tyrant, the white-haired elder groans internally but dares not refuse. Under Qin Jun's polite yet piercing gaze, he has no choice but to hand over the jade token and arrange the lodging. Under the gentle night sky, after bidding farewell to the siblings, Qin Jun invites Daji to sleep with him. But the peerless vixen simply points at the roaring sky dog, drops a teasing remark, and gracefully shuts her door. Seeing the roaring sky dog lean in with excitement, Qin Jun freezes, his romantic mood instantly shattered. Daji's soft chuckle drifts from inside, leaving him hugging the dog in the desolate moonlight, looking utterly defeated. Composing himself, Qin Jun dives into the system interface. Faced with a dazzling array of divine options, he takes a deep breath and decisively activates the random skill inheritance, embracing the infinite unknown. The moment his finger touches the orb, terrifying energy erupts like a flood. Blue data streams surge wildly, threatening to engulf his very soul in this storm of divine power. Expecting Sun Wukong's 72 transformations, Qin Jun is stunned when the system grants him Pigsy's 36 transformations instead. His eyes widen in disbelief and indignation. The gap between expectation and reality is just too cruel. Yet as the inheritance deepens, supreme powers like moving stars and resurrection explode in his mind. Qin Jun's indignation turns to awe. This seemingly lesser art actually holds the profound power to reshape the heavens and earth. The night sky tears apart as a colossal blue beam crashes down with destructive force. Amidst golden aura, a figure roars against the heavens, while those below gaze up in sheer terror at the trembling earth. Terrifying shockwaves sweep the courtyard, leaving maidens freezing in fear, hands over their ears. Only that silhouette stands firm, a clenched fist radiating undeniable intimidation amidst the chaos. Chaos erupts in the Xianling sect. Sect leader Ding Tianyu breaks into a cold sweat, mistaking this apocalyptic thunder for his disciples' breakthrough, unaware that death itself is approaching as disciples scatter in panic. Watching the tribulation threaten to swallow the sect, Ding Tianyu's eyes bulge as he screams hysterically to activate the protective formation, grasping for a sliver of hope amidst the desperate destruction. Muzzle flash erupts. Amidst the interweaving of thunder and modern firepower, any enemy daring to block his path to supremacy can only retreat in disgrace amidst the explosions. Golden flames surge within the room, making even the nascent soul realm Su Daji feel palpitations. This defiance of logic proves that the 16-year-old boy is undergoing a complete metamorphosis. With a thought, Qin Jun activates the size manipulation ability, shrinking instantly. Staring at the bed, now looming like a mountain, he trembles with the excitement of a child discovering a new world. But energy suddenly spirals out of control. Blinding light erupts with a deafening boom, kicking up dust and smoke as the chaotic spell fluctuations instantly swallow the room. Cultivation is still too low. Just as Qin Jun laments the mana cost, a sudden thunderstorm outside makes him whip his head around, eyes flashing with bewilderment and alertness. Unwilling to stop there, he awakens the system again, hungry for a stronger technique. Before the deep vortex of data, his desire for power turns into a silent scream. I must draw it. The moment he grits his teeth in determination, gold light explodes. The purple rainbow thunder technique from an unknown master appears. Amidst the joy, The unknown source leaves him puzzled. With no time to react, violent power floods his body, dropping him to the floor in convulsing pain as steam rises from his skin. Above, thunder roars, as if responding to this tyrannical power. Lightning bombardment. Terrifying blue thunderbolts madly hammer the Xianling sect's shield. Watching the exaggerated commotion from afar, Su Daji and the roaring sky dog curl their lips in amused smiles, completely unfazed. Dare to cause trouble? I'll annihilate them. The roaring sky dog's eyes reveal fierce loyalty and arrogance. Inside, Qin Jun finally endures the agony, exhaling a long breath as electric arcs dance around him. Now, thunder surges in his palm, as if he holds the authority of destruction. This top-tier lightning technique, even at just the first layer, possesses heart-palpitating destructive power. Feeling the spiritual energy absorption speed doubling within him, Qin Jun can't hide his grin. Glancing at the magnificent stats on the system panel, he licks his lips greedily, already coveting even stronger divine abilities. Heavenly Tiangang or Earthly Demon, only children choose. His eyes burn with heat as ambition rages in his chest. I want it all. Meanwhile, the Xianling sect's meeting hall remains brightly lit, yet the atmosphere is suffocatingly heavy. Zhu Junjie and Zhong Ling stand side by side, expressions solemn, sensing a new storm brewing. Deep in the night, disciples whisper in the courtyard, guessing who triggered the lightning tribulation. Meanwhile, Zhong Ling and Zhu Junjie are pushed onto a pedestal amidst misunderstood congratulations, creating a strange yet lively atmosphere. Thunder roars, but the truth remains elusive. Faced with questions, the disciples look at each other in dismay. The shocking tribulation was not their doing. Doubt spreads until a bold guess emerges. Could it be the usually inconspicuous Qin Jun? Under the dim corridor lights, Qin Jun stands with hands behind his back, his expression cold as ice. He restrains his aura, yet a faint, sharp pressure lingers around him, the hallmark of a true powerhouse hiding his merit. The atmosphere in the sect hall freezes as Qin Jun's father explodes with rage over the massive cost of the protective formation. Blinded by anger, he doesn't care if they are saviors. He just wants to punish these money wasters. At the critical moment, Chang Xianxian steps up. She analyzes Su Daji's terrifying power while acting coquettishly to play the family card. Faced with his daughter's persistence, the furious father finally relents, diffusing the crisis. Morning breaks, green leaves dance in the breeze, and crisp bird chirps break the silence of the night, foreshadowing that the new day will be anything but calm. However, the tranquility is instantly shattered. As Qin Jun steps out, he is surrounded by hostile disciples. The purple-haired man aggressively questions him about the truth of last night's tribulation, filling the air with the scent of gunpowder. The girl desperately grabs Qin Jun's sleeve, her eyes filled with disbelief and shock, as if hearing a fantasy, trying to find an answer on his indifferent face. Facing their suspicion, Qin Jun denies it with an indifferent expression. Since no golden core aura can be found, it has nothing to do with him. His none-of-my-business attitude plunges everyone deeper into self-doubt and speculation. Since it can't be avoided, he faces it calmly. Without another word, Qin Jun steps into the Great Hall with an inexplicable majesty under everyone's complex gaze, ready for the final scrutiny from the sect's hierarchy. In the hall, pressure washes over him. The blue-robed man glares angrily and shouts, "Was it you who broke through to the Golden Core realm?" The roar threatens to tear apart Qin Jun's disguise completely. Smoke lingers, but the victor is decided. Qin Jun stands proudly with his silver gun, while the so-called sect genius kneels in humiliation. This scene completely shatters everyone's perception. This kid has been hiding his true strength all along. Mission accomplished. He leaves without looking back. Qin Jun ignores the commotion behind him and strides away with Daji, leaving the elders in disarray, either furious or sighing over the genius who lost miserably due to underestimating the enemy. How is this possible? The elder stares in horror. Meanwhile, Chang Xianxian catches up to Qin Jun, eyes full of adoration, only to be met with his cold rejection. "Don't follow me. We walk different paths." Watching Qin Jun's resolute back, Chang Xianxian swears to chase him to the capital. Daji glances at this two-faced sister, a playful smile curling her lips. "You want to target my lord? You're still too green." 5 days later, Qin Jun eagerly tries to show off the cloud-soaring technique. But the coolness lasts less than 3 seconds. His spiritual energy drains instantly, and he crashes down with the dog from the sky with a loud boom. As the dust settles, Qin Jun kneels on the ground in a sorry state, clutching his dizzy head. It seems the price for forcefully showing off with his current cultivation is a bit too high. While Daji nags about cultivation, the roaring sky dog pricks up its ears in alert. Qin Jun's lips curl into a confident smirk, eyes glinting with excitement. Trouble near the capital? Let's go take a look. Before them stand an elite squad in crimson brocade, their aura rivaling the palace guards. Daji narrows her beautiful eyes, blue demonic energy swirling around her, instantly ready for combat. Offend the fifth prince, and the Yin family falls. As the executioner's blades loom, hearing that familiar name makes Qin Jun's eyes go cold. It seems he must intervene with full force. Just as the thugs prepare to slaughter the civilians, a crisp gunshot pierces the air. Qin Jun stands with a silver pistol, expression cold, as the pleasant system chime rings out. One shot, one kill, XP gained. The threat of the Bloodblade squad only triggers an annihilation quest for Qin Jun. He moves like lightning, crashing into their ranks, blasting the arrogant mob away with sweeping sword energy. Yin Mabe stares in shock at the devastation. Yet the surviving leader remains arrogant, invoking the fifth prince's authority, trying to crush this terrifying white-robed youth with political weight. "Oh, I'm so scared," Qin Jun mocks, before unleashing a towering aura of golden red power. The arrogant leader instantly breaks into a cold sweat, trembling and twisting in fear under the crushing pressure. The battle ends as Qin Jun blows smoke from his gun barrel. The blue system panel materializes, an elite enemy eliminated, quest completed, and experience points skyrocketing. Pure satisfaction. Yin Mabe kneels to thank his savior, but freezes upon hearing the name. This godlike youth is actually the demoted third prince, Qin Jun. Qin Yun merely smiles calmly, denying knowing. Meanwhile, the atmosphere in the fifth prince's estate is somber. Qin Yu frowns deeply upon learning the Yin survivors fled into Lia, a forbidden place even the royal family fears. His pupils constrict as his father's warning echoes in his mind. No matter what, never provoke the Loya Inn. Its depths are so murky that even the emperor dares not tread there. Then kill them when they come out. Qin Yu slams his fist down. The tournament is days away. He must prove himself now, and he won't let the Yin family ruin his path to the throne. Inside Liaoyin, Daji taps her bowl in boredom, but Qin Jun grips a golden scroll tightly, gazing out the window. He is waiting for the arrival of a god who will shock everyone. Suddenly, golden light floods the street. The fifth prince, Qin Yu, arrives with great fanfare. Upstairs, Qin Jun's gaze sharpens. Enemies are bound to meet, especially at a critical moment like this. In the shadows, Yin Mabe and his clan hold their breath in terror. Downstairs, Qin Yu demands their location, only to be firmly rebuffed by the innkeeper's calm refusal to disclose anything. Qin Yu snorts coldly, releasing a violent burst of purple energy that sends servants cowering. As the encirclement tightens, Yin Mabe grips his weapon, sweat soaking his back. There is no escape. Facing the prince's wrath, the innkeeper maintains a smile that hides daggers, refusing to yield. In the crowd, Nan Yusin watches coldly, admiring the prince's talent, but despising his arrogant bullying. Suddenly, the array roars, light tearing through space. Accompanied by a thunderous bellow, the legendary god of war, Guan Yu, clad in green robes and gold armor, descends with his green dragon crescent blade, crushing the air with his majestic presence. In the corner, a nobleman stares intently, his pupils constricting with sheer greed. If he can recruit such a warrior, victory in the upcoming Kanglan Kingdom tournament will be all but assured. A purple-haired girl tries to approach, only to be blasted back, pale-faced, by Guan Yu's thunderous command to move. Suppressing her fear and ambition, she retreats, while an elder onlooker realizes, if this man rages, the entire inn will be reduced to rubble in seconds. Before anyone can react, the black shadow tears through the crowd like lightning, halting instantly before a white-robed youth. Amidst the suffocating pressure, the deadly god of war finally stands before his master, a reunion transcending time. The warrior who scorned the crowd now bows his head, armor clanking heavily. His voice is filled with guilt and absolute submission. "I arrived late to protect you. Please forgive me, my lord." The hall is thunderstruck. This terrifying entity serves a mere teenager? Qin Jun smiles calmly, helping Guan Yu up and casually introducing the righteous Lord Guan to the stunned crowd, as if his dominance is the most natural thing in the world. The atmosphere warms instantly as Su Daji introduces herself with a charming smile. The inn owner, seizing the moment, loudly declares all meals free. The once tense hall is now filled with cheers, everyone currying favor with the new genius, young Master Qin. Overnight, the name, young Master Jun, echoes through the capital, becoming a dream for maidens and a thorn for factions. Meanwhile, in the shadows of his estate, Prince Qin Yu sits with a dark expression, listening to reports about his new nemesis. No records found. The spy hands over a sketch drawn by a tavern patron, his voice low. This youth appeared like a ghost. Even the city gatekeepers have no trace of his existence. Staring at the crude drawing, Qin Yu laughs in anger. He slams it onto the table, killing intent surging in his eyes. He must uncover this man's secrets at all costs, or he will surely lose the upcoming battle for the throne. Early the next morning, the doors of Loya Inn are kicked open. Nan Yusin storms in, her heels hammering the floor. With arrogant fury, she demands the presence of this so-called young Master Jun to settle the score. Qin Jun stretches, annoyed at being woken, only to hear urgent shouting outside. Glancing through the window, he instantly recognizes the woman who humiliated his predecessor, Nan Yusin. She actually dared to come here? Recalling past grudges, Qin Jun smirks darkly and borrows Daji's veil to mask his face. Downstairs, Nan Yusin, losing all patience, shoves the innkeeper aside and storms upstairs with aggressive intent. They meet in the narrow corridor, the masked Qin Jun standing calmly. The moment his identity is confirmed, Nan Yusin strikes without hesitation. Amidst an illusion of heavy rain, she launches a fierce attack, determined to teach this genius a lesson. Zulfust. Qin Jun dodges like a phantom, mocking her rudeness mid-move. His contempt acts as fuel to the fire. Nan Yusin grinds her teeth, her spiritual energy exploding as she unleashes a lethal punch. It ends in an instant. Qin Jun counters, locking her joint as golden energy suppresses the room. The once arrogant saintess now lies crumpled on the floor, crying out in pain and begging for mercy, utterly defeated before true power. In the vast void, two wills clash violently. Volatile blue energy rages, only to be suppressed by a steady, unyielding hand, while a cold warning echoes. Do not overestimate yourself. Inside the inn, Nan Yusin boasts arrogantly, only to be shut down by a masked woman in white. The icy retort, "Girls should respect themselves," shatters her pride instantly, freezing her in terror. Nan Yusin storms off with a threat, leaving bystanders in awe of Qin Jun's composure. Meanwhile, the dragonhorn girl, Xiao Li, tugs at his sleeve, blushing and begging. "My lord, can I have it back?" Qin Jun leans in with a wicked grin, teasing, "How about I do it?" Xiao Li turns crimson instantly, her shy request exploding into a flustered shout. "Get out of here." Walking away, the roaring sky dog sighs at his master's antics, while Qin Jun defends his obsession. As night falls, a crisp system chime breaks the silence. Mission complete. The Yinbei chamber is conquered. Back in his room, Qin Jun activates the lottery. Blue light explodes, pulsating with divine power, coalescing into the magnificent silver dragon soul destroying spear. A treasure from the East Sea Dragon Palace. Staring at the radiant weapon, Qin Jun can barely contain his excitement. Holding his breath, his trembling fingers reach into the virtual void to manifest the legendary spear. The moment he grasps it, a crushing weight descends. Muscles screaming, Qin Jun loses control as the floor beneath him shatters, sending him plunging downward in a cloud of dust and debris. The free fall ends with a warm splash. Water sprays and petals drift as Qin Jun surfaces, bewildered, realizing he has crashed straight into a scented bath. Fingers brush against soft skin, realization hits. Nan Yusin's eyes burn with shame and fury. Her scream pierces the air, turning the gentleman into an instant criminal. "Turn around," Nan Yusin commands, shielding herself. Soaked and terrified, Qin Jun instantly obeys, spinning around and stammering apologies like a scolded child. Just as Qin Jun tries to flee, the tone shifts. Nan Yusin suppresses her rage, a calculating smile appearing. "Leaving after seeing everything? Not unless you've joined the Nanming sacred sect." Qin Yun looks confused. Nan Yusin presses on, weaving a seductive tale of her sect's immense power, her eyes revealing not just allure, but an ambition to control this talented youth. Faced with such temptation, Qin Jun remains unmoved. With the myth system and gods at his command, Why would a future divine emperor care for a mere mortal sect? Failing to recruit him, Nan Yusin assumes he has powerful backing. Calculating the risks, she quickly shifts tactics, a polite smile and a handshake to secure a temporary truce. The truce is set, but the awkward tension remains. Nan Yusin glances nervously at the door, hinting that he should leave before late-night scandals begin to spread. Makes sense. Qin Jun nods blankly, pointing at the wall. Before she can react, boom, he smashes straight through the solid wood, choosing the wildest exit possible. Under the moonlight, a violet blur bursts from the debris. Qin Jun pushes his speed to the limit, fleeing not just to test his power, but to escape the suffocating awkwardness. The roaring sky dog leers, asking for details, only to earn a sharp blow to the head. As the dust settles, Qin Jun reflects on the spear's weight, unaware that by morning, new troubles regarding the Kanglan envoy will arise. Sunlight lazily spills across the wooden floor, dappled shadows dancing amidst the bustling crowd. Yet, beneath this peaceful facade, an unknown storm seems to be brewing. In the corner, whispered worries about the war spread, while Qin Jun listens coldly. Suddenly, a shout shatters the gloom. The fifth prince, Qin Yu, barges in with an imposing aura. The fifth prince strides straight toward the green-robed elder, eyes filled with greed and calculation. He seeks not just aid, but to leverage the expert's fame for his own political gain. Facing the recruitment, Qin Jun coldly refuses. The fifth prince instantly drops his mask, erupting in rage, roaring threats of the heavenly prison to crush the arrogance before him. Before the words settle, Qin Jun strikes. With a muffled thud, the arrogant servant is sent flying. Qin Jun smirks, his eyes full of disdain. How noisy! Chaos erupts in the courtyard as sword chi slashes through the air. The fifth prince screams in disbelief, shocked that anyone would dare challenge royal authority so violently. Suddenly, the green-robed elder, Guan Yu, glares furiously, unleashing a terrifying wave of blue energy. Get out! His roar, like thunder, instantly blasts the surrounding enemies away. Before the god of war's absolute power, arrogance turns to terror. Before the countdown ends, the men in black, terrified, scatter in panic, fleeing for their lives. Laughter returns to the tavern, as if the conflict were a mere interlude. Yet from a high balcony, two pairs of sharp eyes watch, silently gauging the depth of this young Master Jun. He will definitely make a name for himself. The girl gazes at the courtyard, her eyes no longer holding doubt, but certain expectation. This farce has only proven Qin Jun's strength. Meanwhile, at the capital gates, crowds surge as cultivators gather. Qin Jun pulls Daji into his arms, revealing a touch of unique calm and affection amidst the tension of impending war. On the grand palace steps, sunlight pierces the clouds, bathing the orderly ranks in a sacred glow. Solemn footsteps echo, heralding the moment that will decide the nation's fate. Inside the magnificent hall, cries of the emperor has arrived ring out. The robed monarch enters with majesty, officials bowing in submission, the weight of imperial power suffocating. Vadrum's thunder, gongs crash. The command flag waves from the tower, announcing to the myriad subjects, the war between the two nations has officially begun. The capital erupts into chaos. As chaos unfolds, the system's ultimate quest pops up before Qin Jun. Seize the throne. Meanwhile, the fifth prince, spurned by his father and jealous of Qin Jun's rise, falls into madness. Deep in his mansion, Qin Yu's face twists as he smashes objects in rage. Learning Qin Jun returned alive with merits, jealousy gnaws at his heart like a viper. His murderous intent is uncontrollable. From the shadows, he issues a kill order to the Dark Master. Though advisors plead for caution, Qin Yu has lost all reason, vowing to teach his lucky brother a painful lesson. Yet, the so-called revenge turns out to be an absurd honey trap. Mobbed by crazed women at the inn, Qin Jun barely escapes, sneering in the night air. Simply too passionate. Escaping the noise, Qin Jun holds Daji, enjoying a moment of peace. Facing her teasing, his gaze turns deep and mysterious as he whispers, "Come, let me show you a big treasure." Beneath the stars, a divine spear glowing with cold blue light reveals itself. Daji's eyes widen. This is Qin Jun's trump card, a weapon mighty enough to pierce the heavens in the coming chaos. In the dead of night, Qin Jun attempts to wield the massive silver dragon spear. But confidence quickly turns to agony. His muscles scream under the weight until he collapses, crying out for Daji's help. As Daji flirtatiously offers a breathing technique, the atmosphere shatters. A cold glint cuts through the air. Qin Jun's pupils dilate. An assassin strikes from the shadows, turning intimacy into mortal danger. The assassin's death threat only ignites Qin Jun's fury. Facing the encroaching enemies, he stops a shocked Daji, his eyes crackling with lightning as he steps forward to handle the scum himself. Without hesitation, Qin Jun launches himself into the air like a bolt of blue lightning. Explosive energy erupts as he strikes, sending the enemy flying with a ferocious roar. The assassin crashes to the ground, screaming in agony. Qin Jun stands over him, a cold smirk playing on his lips, mocking the clumsy attempt before demanding the mastermind's name. Since the enemy refuses to speak, Qin Jun offers no mercy. A gunshot rings out against the starry sky, silencing the threat instantly as the system chimes with a reward. With the body disposed of, silence returns to the courtyard. Under Daji's gentle guidance, Qin Jun masters the innate breathing technique, the violence of battle fading into focused cultivation energy. Suddenly, a storm breaks, and chaos erupts in the courtyard. Amidst the pouring rain, women clash with furious screams, dragging a frustrated Qin Jun into the center of a volatile standoff. The phantom avatars of gods and demons loom behind Qin Jun. Back on the battlefield, the purple-haired warrior unleashes a lethal strike, forcing her panicked opponent into a desperate defense. The dust settles only to reveal a scandalous accusation. A woman furiously claims Qin Jun molested her. He frantically denies it, while Daji watches with a cold, amused sneer. Desperate to clear the air, Qin Jun apologizes to the noble, silver-haired woman. She lowers her guard, but her words remain chilling. To break the tension, he tentatively asks about the upcoming martial arts competition. The question backfires immediately, her red eyes glowing with menace. She demands his participation on pain of death. Qin Jun frantically agrees, masking his terror with exaggerated enthusiasm. Danger brings opportunity as the system triggers a high-reward quest. Driven by survival and ambition, Qin Jun trains relentlessly under the snowy night sky, collapsing only when the rooster crows at dawn. At daybreak, the palace manager arrives. Qin Jun seizes the chance to secure lodging for his followers within the palace walls, knowing it's the only way to shield them from his enemies while the threat of Qin Yu remains. Stepping into the grand Qinjin Hall, Qin Jun bows to his father. But the king's gaze is piercing, scrutinizing his suddenly powerful son and remarking suspiciously on his drastic transformation. Before the conversation can continue, a violet beam strikes. Blasted back by the sudden attack, Qin Jun's mind races. Has the king seen through his disguise and decided to execute him right here? Rage ignites Qin Jun's lightning as he prepares to fight to the death. But the king calmly intervenes, revealing the lethal strike was merely a test of his son's newfound strength. Realizing it was a test, Qin Jun quickly regains his composure and accepts the task of hosting the genius meeting. He lowers his head, a cunning glint in his eyes. This is the perfect stage to farm hatred and complete quests. A wave of joy hits him as the side quest completes. But the king's reward surprises him even more. 100 forbidden guards, troops that, until now, belonged to his archrival, Qin Yu. Massive experience points flood his body, triggering a golden eruption of energy. As the king watches in shock, Qin Jun breaks through to Foundation Level 7, and the system issues a new, domineering quest. Crush all geniuses. Golden flames rise, reflecting Qin Jun's arrogant smile. Faced with the system's quest to crush all geniuses, he shows no fear, only burning ambition in his blazing eyes. While Qin Jun burns with ambition, the emperor deep within the palace notices this rising force. Observing the terrifying cultivation speed, the ruler falls into deep contemplation. After a moment of weighing his options, a decisive glint flashes in the emperor's eyes. He decides to give his sharp-edged son a chance, allowing Qin Jun to pick 100 guards from the Forbidden Army. Orders in hand, Qin Jun arrives at the royal capital military camp. The sun shines brightly as battle cries shake the sky. The sight of soldiers training fills the air with the scent of iron and blood. Just as Qin Jun nods in approval at the elite soldiers, a piercing question interrupts his mood. He turns to meet a gaze full of provocation and hostility. The comber means no good. Facing obstruction, Qin Jun sneers and refuses to yield an inch. He invokes imperial authority, his words sharp as knives, flushing his opponent with panic under the accusation of abusing public power. Seeing the situation spiral, instructor Zhou Litong steps in, forcibly rejecting Qin Jun's demand. Qin Jun narrows his eyes, a plan forming in his mind as a meaningful sneer curls his lips. If the road is blocked, borrow a knife to kill. Qin Jun feigns anger and storms off, leaving the mess to Eunuch Shun while he slips away, setting a lethal trap for his enemies to walk right into. Sure enough, the unwitting fifth Prince Qin Yu rushes to the palace to complain. Looking at his sweating son kneeling on the floor, the emperor sits high above, his gaze deep, having already seen through it all. Qin Yu continues to chatter, fabricating Qin Jun's crimes and trying to sling mud at his brother. Little does he know, every lie he spins ignites a fire of disappointment in the emperor's heart. Enough! The emperor finally erupts, his thunderous rage sweeping through the hall. He rebukes Qin Yu for his lies and selfishness, his imperial pressure making the very air freeze in terror. With a single decree, Qin Yu is stripped of his command over the Forbidden Army. He collapses to his knees, eyes bloodshot, nails digging into his palms, hatred for Qin Jun growing wild like poisonous weeds. Far outside the palace, Qin Jun sneezes, then learns the good news. He laughs aloud, mocking his opponent's stupidity and celebrating his bloodless victory, eyes gleaming with a hunter's cold light. 1 week later, in the deep courtyard, people chat about the upcoming genius meeting. Unlike the excitement of others, Qin Jun looks utterly bored. Struggles of this level no longer catch his eye. Suddenly, an uninvited guest crashes into view. Zhuojunjie. His appearance is like a stone cast into a calm lake, instantly stirring shock and hostility among the crowd as the smell of gunpowder fills the air. Without wasting words, Zhuojunjie, surrounded by purple aura, issues a public challenge. Violent energy surges through the room. It is not just an invitation to fight, but a naked display of contempt and provocation. Swords drawn, bows bent. The cold glint of unsheathed weapons instantly stings everyone's eyes. Onlookers gasp and retreat. The air is so taut it feels like it could snap at any second. A vicious battle is unavoidable. Facing a strong enemy, voices of doubt and mockery rise around him, some even urging Qin Jun to back down. The crowd's gaze pricks like needles, all waiting to see this trash prince make a fool of himself. Why wouldn't I dare? Qin Jun steps forward, defying the crowd. As he accepts the challenge, a majestic aura shoots into the sky, like an invisible giant hand ready to crush all the mockery. Before his voice fades, the sword strikes. Qin Jun transforms into a bolt of blue lightning, tearing through his opponent's defense with unmatched dominance. If they want to fight, he'll win it clean and shock the whole room. Thinking it was a friendly spar, the opponent freezes as Qin Jun's blade descends with deadly lightning. Realizing too late, this is a fight to the death. No room to breathe. As the terrifying purple storm strikes again, Qin Jun's eyes harden. If he can't dodge, he'll have to meet it head-on. As the energy storm clears, the spectators scan the arena in shock. Meanwhile, amidst the ruins, the opponent clutches his chest, grateful to have barely escaped death. Standing high above, Zhuojunjie glares at Qin Jun's eerie aura, killing intent rising. Since he can't kill him in front of the sect, he resolves to cripple him instead. But the tide turns instantly. Agonized screams pierce the rain as Qin Jun unleashes the legendary demon-killing spell, plunging his opponent into unprecedented despair and terror. The rain clears, and Qin Jun stands tall, declaring victory. The crowd erupts from stunned silence. No one expected King Yu to defeat the #1 genius. News spreads like wildfire. Girls gather, whispering and arguing. Some call his victory shameless, while others defend his hidden strength. When she learns the mysterious expert is actually Qin Jun, she is thunderstruck. Tears well up. The one she's been searching for has been beside her all along. The next morning, Qin Jun reflects over tea. He won, but he knows he's still too weak, while his companions worry about the strange demonic energy he displayed. Night falls, and the system's chime is music to his ears. Quest complete, XP gained. Rubbing his hands, Qin Jun eagerly starts the lottery draw. The wheel spins, names of legendary weapons flashing by. Qin Jun clasps his hands, heart racing, praying for a god-tier treasure. Gold light flashes, revealing Su Daji's belly band. Before he can react, Daji herself appears at the door, smiling. The air freezes in awkward silence. Qin Jun's pupils quake, cold sweat pouring down. Caught red-handed holding her lingerie? He's absolutely done for. There's no explaining this away. Facing the encroaching Daji, Jun frantically tries to explain. But his pale excuses seem so weak and comical before the charming fox demon. Instead of anger, Daji leans in, tapping his lips. Her whisper, full of temptation and danger, sends Jun's heart into chaotic rhythm. The romantic mood is shattered instantly. Shaoli descends from the sky, delivering a merciless wake-up punch that smashes Jun right into the floor. Jun cries out in pain at her cruelty. But he quickly gets serious. Guan Yu is leaving soon, and he must squeeze every bit of knowledge from the war god. Days later, watching Guan Yu leave, Jun feels regret. Suddenly, a eunuch arrives. The emperor summons him. Is it to praise his victory at the event? In the study, his father praises him heavily. But the conversation shifts to a grander stage, the upcoming Qianlong martial arts event in the Manhua dynasty. Facing this chance to enter top six, Jun agrees without hesitation. Not just for glory, but because the system demands it. He has no choice but to go. Facing his father's heavy expectations, Jun smirks, his eyes gleaming with hunger for power, treating this trial as a mere game to harvest experience. Masking dark schemes with a dutiful promise, he sets off. 10 days later, under the cover of night, the prince transforms into a calculating hunter controlling the board. Just as the defenses are set, Daji's playful teasing shatters the silence. Her flirtatious gaze fills the night air with a thick, intoxicating tension. At the mention of treachery, Daji's charm turns to icy bloodlust. Denied the kill by Jun, her frustrated howl tears through the heartbroken night. Meanwhile, the other princes turn pale as a terrifying aura descends. Panic ensues as they frantically order guards to form ranks, revealing their cowardice. Watching these greenhouse flowers, Jun's eyes fill with disdain. With a boom, a lightning-wreathed wolf materializes, its ferocious pressure sweeping the field. The wolf lunges. Royals scream in terror for salvation while guards desperately surround the beast, the scene teetering on the edge of bloody chaos. From the distant shadows, greedy eyes lock onto the battle. Recognizing the legendary Wolf King bloodline, a dark desire to possess it ignites. Thunder strikes. As blue lightning engulfs the wolf, Jun doesn't flinch. He halts his men, his eyes burning with the thrill of a solo challenge. In the pouring rain, Jun points his sword, a wild grin on his face. He treats this ferocious beast not as a threat, but as a live dummy for his new skill. A sword flash splits the night like a meteor. In a fleeting moment of brilliance, the rampaging wolf is struck down, crashing into the dust. Bathed in divine blue light, Jun points his blade at the defeated. His voice is cold iron. Surrender or die. Dominance silences the field. Dust settles, leaving only a massive, shadowy silhouette. The air remains thick with suffocating pressure, hinting that the battle is far from over. Shockingly, the wolf rises again. Its unyielding royal bloodline stuns the enemy, snapping the tension back tight as a bowstring. Provoked, Jun erupts in fury. The wolf avatar roars behind him, man and beast unleashing devastating pressure to deliver the final ultimatum. The wolf bows, breaking the tension instantly. Jun smirks, bestowing a mischievous name, Sola, Aoi, upon the ancient beast, sparking a comical protest. While the crowd gasps at his feat of taming the beast, the purple-haired rival burns with jealousy in the shadows, his murderous intent growing toxic. A sneeze breaks his thought, but a system chime brings joy, a god-summoned chance. Suppressing his ecstasy, Jun calmly orders the group to rest. Deep in the night, while Daji gently tends to the new pet, Jun initiates the mystic ritual. A blue vortex swirls in the darkness. A new god approaches. Puzzled by the unclear result, Jun shrugs it off. As the sun rises, a new plan forms in his mind, ready for the drama to unfold. A conspiracy brews in the shadows. The order is given coldly, while the assassin clenches his fist, eyes burning with malicious intent, vowing that Jun will not survive. Meanwhile, by the pool, romance seems to blossom. Jun thinks he has won the beauty's heart, but Daji's expression suddenly shifts from playful to dangerous. Splash! At Jun's flirty remark, Daji's eyes flash with indignation. Her pride as a nine-tailed divine fox is insulted, and she strikes back with water. Jun groans in pain, reciting scriptures to calm his lust. Daji sits calmly in the water, her silhouette against the sunset, radiating a holy yet seductive aura. Night falls, and the cozy campfire atmosphere is shattered. Heavy footsteps approach, accompanied by chanting, as a suffocating aura of power descends upon camp. The intruder glows with golden light, like an angry deity. Qin Jun's heart tightens. Just standing there, the monk emits a pressure that brings cold sweat to their brows. Tensions explode. The monk claims he's here to exorcise demons, while soldiers shout back in denial. The air is thick with hostility, signaling an imminent clash. Soldiers draw swords, and Qin Jun is furious. The roaring sky dog lunges forward as a giant wolf, while monk Xianshang locks his gaze onto the foul beast. From the sky, Xianshang strikes like a god, unleashing a massive golden palm. Qin Jun abandons all dignity, clutching his roast chicken and running for his life. The danger escalates as a deadlier killing intent locks on. Though Qin Jun has his gods, the enemy's declaration that not even God can save you tolls like a death knell. Boom! Debris flies as Daji attacks with ferocity. Yet, monk Xianshang withstands the blow, revealing a strength far beyond everyone's expectations. The truth is revealed. He is a nascent soul master. The enemy prince laughs maniacally, certain that Qin Jun is already a walking corpse. Xianshang clasps his hands, summoning blinding holy light for the final strike. Suddenly, a majestic voice thunders through the air, halting the slaughter instantly. Golden light erupts. The system chimes, and a legendary Fahai appears. His void transformation aura sweeps across the field, powerful enough to crush a nation. A shocking twist. Fahai is Xianshang's uncle? Qin Jun watches his enemies freeze in disbelief, his grin widening into something savage and arrogant. It feels like a cosmic joke. The arrogant Xianshang sweats profusely, watching his own uncle bow respectfully to Qin Jun, his world crumbling around him. Fahai's authority is absolute as he grounds his nephew. Xianshang looks at Qin Jun in terror, realizing his greatest shield has become his enemy's sword. Old grudges boil over, weapon crackling with lightning. Qin Jun recounts his brother's crimes. There is no mercy in his eyes, only pure, killing intent. Rain pours amidst thunder. Ignoring the enemy's groveling and Fahai's pleas for mercy, Qin Jun lets out a cold laugh, his blade steady and unforgiving. Daji steps forward as the Demon King, dominating the field. Qin Jun stands with his allies. The feud is set, and tonight they will tear it out by the roots. Lightning explodes. Qin Jun unleashes a torrent of thunder, engulfing Qin Yu. Watching his rival attempt to flee, Qin Jun's eyes turn cold. You want to escape? It's too late. A pillar of terrifying lightning crashes down like divine punishment. Qin Yu raises his sword in a desperate block, but against such absolute power, his struggle is futile. The earth screams under a deafening boom. While onlookers gape in horror, Qin Jun stands indifferent at the center of the storm, like a reaper deciding life and death. Blood trickling from his mouth, a savage, arrogant smile twists Qin Jun's face. He delivers a final mockery to his dying enemy. In your next life, try being an affectionate and righteous person. Dust settles as Qin Jun stares coldly at the corpse beneath his feet. In this moment, it feels as if all the gods are watching the rise of a new king. The path of revenge has only just begun. Qin Yu is dead. I have avenged this body. As the vow falls, system notifications chime wildly. Golden red energy floods his veins instantly. Golden core stage, achieved. Before he can savor the level up, storm clouds gather above. Facing the legendary divine retribution, Qin Jun shows no fear, pointing his spear at the sky and roaring arrogantly. Come at me. Lightning swallows Qin Jun whole, a scene of madness that numbs the scalps of onlookers. Only Daji, watching from afar, clasps her hands tight, her eyes filled with worry for her master. His Highness has ambitions for the world. The roaring sky dog and the elder are deeply impressed by Qin Jun's will. As the lightning fades, his figure stands proud atop the peak, radiating a terrifying aura of power. Returning from the tribulation, Qin Jun feels refreshed, as if the lightning was merely a bath. He casually orders his men to bury the body and turns toward the river. I'm going to wash off this bad luck. The cool river water washes away the fatigue of battle. Riding his luck, Qin Jun starts the system lottery. He closes his eyes and prays. System, please don't give me a belly band or a dog collar. A flash of gold. It's the rose gold Emperor armor from Journey to the West. Before the excitement settles, countless armor pieces fly toward Qin Jun, forcibly equipping themselves underwater. The majestic armor attaches instantly. It looks cool, but the sudden automatic equipping sends a chill down the naked Qin Jun. Wait, how do I take this thing off? Armor issue aside, Qin Jun begins the god summoning with high hopes. Give me someone who can suppress Fa. But as the light fades, an unexpected figure appears before him. I am Tai Bai Jinxing, here to serve your highness. Seeing this genuine god from the heaven realm, Qin Jun almost jumps with joy. This is a true powerhouse. Qin Jun excitedly bombards Tai Bai Jinxing with questions, eager to introduce him to his compatriot, the roaring sky dog. They rush back to camp through the rain, only to find the atmosphere there strangely tense. The camp is on the brink of war. Fa stands his ground with his artifact, clashing with the demonic aura of Daji and the roaring sky dog. Bald donkey, if not for his highness, I would have torn you to pieces, the dog roars. Stop! Qin Jun's sharp shout breaks the standoff. Facing Fa-Hai's adamant warning that demons cannot be trusted, Qin Jun's expression darkens as he dominates the scene. Those under my command are neither god nor demon, but my own. Tai Bai Jinxing steps forward, trying to defuse the situation with the philosophy that all beings have spirits, revealing his status as a god. But Fa-Hai buys none of it, eyes wide with rage, determined to exterminate the demons. If reason fails, force will prevail. Tai Bai Jinxing cuts the talk and lays down a life-or-death bet. If I lose, end my life here. If you lose, you shut your mouth. Fa-Hai sneers, deal. The saga unfolds with gods assembled in epic grandeur. The scene shifts as a blue-horned demon breaks the silence, questioning the black dog with an air of intrigue about the unfolding situation. Daji remains wary, unable to gauge his true power. Meanwhile, the red-robed monk prays with lethal intent, while the blue-skinned elder surges with energy. The battle is imminent. With a deafening roar, the elder unleashes his full power. A terrifying torrent of blue energy bursts forth, instantly swallowing everything in sight. The earth shakes, mountains crumble. As everyone watches in cold sweat and terror, the culprit scratches his head awkwardly. He meant to be gentle, but clearly overdid it. As the dust settles, the elder stands like a deity, commanding absolute reverence. Gasps of awe fill the air. Who could have guessed Qin Jun had a true god watching his back? Facing their doubts, Qin Jun gazes at the night sky, smugly spinning a tale about a great white star. Yet beside him, the blue-skinned girl and the black dog lapse into a meaningful silence. The battle ends, and the once arrogant foe lies humiliated in the dirt. Facing his companion's shock, Qin Jun remains indifferent. Even a void transformation cultivator is mere prey before him. Under both grace and pressure, the elder finally lets go of his obsession and submits. Qin Jun wastes no more words, giving the order to depart as the team embarks on a new journey. On a stormy night, the assassin leader, Bloodblade King, kneels, offering loyalty for the vengeance Qin Jun exacted. With a cold gaze, Qin Jun accepts this blade for now, watching him closely. 5 days of travel through endless sands. Inside the carriage, Qin Jun listens to reports of an empty treasury and lost military power, his brow furrowing with deep concern for the nation's future. Just as Qin Jun reflects on history, a group of lost travelers appears ahead. Facing these cultivators from the Wuqi kingdom, Qin Jun remains vigilant, but generously invites them to join the convoy. They exchange pleasantries and names. Yet internally, Qin Jun sneers. These weak cultivators want to compete? Has the Manhua kingdom truly fallen so low? When the blonde youth curiously asks about the mysterious carriage, an attendant jokingly claims it holds a god. This shocking statement forces others to cough loudly, desperate to cover up the slip. Laughter freezes instantly as a terrifying aura descends. Outside, a massive white divine beast roars at the sky, its violent pressure making everyone's soul tremble. Just as everyone screams golden core beast in panic, the curtain lifts. The man casually waves his hand. This devastating monster is merely his brother's pet. Before anyone can recover, a group of reckless bandits attacks. Fire sparks and blades flash as the peaceful wilderness instantly turns into a chaotic battlefield. Hideous warriors close in, their blades glowing with bloodthirsty red light. Their eyes are filled with greed and killing intent. They plan to leave no survivors. Predatory eyes lock onto the lone blonde girl as bandits grin and tighten their circle. In this cruel desert, the weak seem destined to become prey for the strong. Courting death, a shout pierces the sky. A blue figure darts through the battlefield like lightning. With sweeping sword energy, the arrogant bandits are blasted away instantly. Realizing they've hit a wall, the bandit leader Gongsun too remains arrogant, boasting his name. Qin Jun's eyes burn with rage. So this is the butcher who slaughtered countless disciples. On a stormy night, as bandits threaten the helpless, a furious shout cuts through the thunder. Qin Jun strikes like lightning to intercept. Facing the enemy's provocation, Qin Jun fans himself with bored arrogance, simply ordering his hound to greet them with lethal intent. The roaring sky dog unleashes a red shockwave, blasting enemies into oblivion while the onlookers gasp, pale with shock. The enemy counters with a cloning technique, sparking curiosity in the blue-haired woman who recognizes the alien Hokage art. The battle intensifies as energy beams clash, the devastating shockwaves threatening to engulf the innocent civilians below in chaos. Facing the monk's overwhelming power, the blue-skinned warrior roars in despair, but Qin Jun suddenly commands them to spare his life. The so-called strongman crumbles before Fahai, his rage futile against the monk's blinding golden light and absolute dominance. You cannot escape fate. Just as the monk prepares the final blow, a command stops him, and he bows in obedience to Qin Jun's will. As the dust settles, system notifications chime sweetly, and a greedy smirk plays on Qin Jun's lips at the massive XP gain. That is my brother. Amidst the crowd's awe, the revelation of Qin Jun's identity and power sends ripples of shock through the onlookers. Rummaging through the corpse, Qin Jun finds a secret letter, his relaxed expression instantly hardening into shock and suspicion. The letter reveals the involvement of the Dark Knight Pavilion, and Qin Jun realizes a top-tier assassin guild is targeting him. Despite the threat, Qin Jun remains fearless, waving his hand to continue the journey, confident in the power of his summoned gods. 2 days of tedious travel are interrupted when the long-awaited system alert finally chimes. Monthly summoning is here. Under the gentle night sky, Qin Jun and Su Daji sit by the campfire, savoring a moment of peace amidst the chaos. Consciousness diving into the system, Qin Jun watches a blue circle spin, surprised as a silhouette with dragon horns emerges. Dragon Girl? Wild fantasies race through Qin Jun's mind, and a smug grin spreads across his face as the system confirms her identity. Back in reality, facing Daji's jealous gaze, Qin Jun doesn't shy away, locking eyes with her in the dim forest, sparks flying. Make a bet. If I win. Daji's finger traces his hand, her seductive challenge making the air thick with tension and desire. The tender moment is shattered by a sudden explosion ahead. Qin Jun whips around, his eyes instantly sharpening into combat readiness. The sky splits open as a majestic white dragon descends. While subordinates scream in terror and kneel before the legendary beast, Qin Jun watches calmly, his eyes revealing a hint of recognition. This is a true dragon. The dragon dives, its deafening roar shaking the earth. While everyone scatters in panic, begging him to kneel, Qin Jun stands his ground, engulfed in flames, ready to face the celestial pressure head-on. Just as the dragon's pressure peaks, the scene shifts. Amidst falling cherry blossoms, a silver-haired girl with dragon horns appears, joyfully calling out, "Brother Qin Jun," turning the tense confrontation into a moment of pure stunned silence. The girl plunges into Qin Jun's arms, her eyes overflowing with affection. This princess of the South Sea acts like a greedy little girl, immersed in sweet memories of sharing skewers, instantly washing away the murderous atmosphere with warmth. Pushing aside doubts about the original soul's dissipation, Qin Jun snaps back to reality. In the bushes, spectators watch in disbelief, thinking it a dream. Suddenly, a solemn elder steps forward, breaking the brief moment of romance. Qin Jun introduces the dragon princess to his companions. Tears glimmer in her eyes as she recounts breaking through her father's barrier just to follow that familiar aura, her dedication moving everyone present. The tender moment is cut short by Daji's lazy voice. With a sly smile, she reminds Qin Jun of their bet, and then, right before everyone's eyes, especially the shocked dragon princess, she plants an unexpected kiss on him. Facing Daji's provocation and the dragon princess's competitive outcry, a blushing Qin Jun quickly changes the subject and orders their departure. As wheels roll forward, the sky darkens and rain pours, signaling their arrival at the legendary Shura field, the atmosphere turning suddenly oppressive. Amidst flickering candlelight, the elder anxiously asks about the Dragon King. Head bowed but voice firm, the dragon princess admits to breaking out by force, a revelation that plunges the elder into deep thought. Since trouble is unavoidable, they let nature take its course. Arriving at the majestic checkpoint, Qin Jun faces the guard's interrogation with cool confidence, while his white wolf mount lets out a low growl, instantly intimidating the crowd. Just as the guard tries to verify his identity, a sharp sword energy slashes through the air. Amidst the rising dust, Qin Jun appears like a phantom, his cold gaze asking, "Looking for me?" A single entrance, radiating kingly dominance. The wind rises before the trees settle. A gray-haired man with a spear blocks the path, eyes burning with feverish intent. Having heard of Qin Jun's victories, he is eager to make a name for himself by challenging the new rising star, tension crackling in the air. The battle erupts instantly. Qin Jun transforms into a streak of blue lightning, moving with suffocating speed. In response to his opponent's awe, he only offers a cold scoff, comparing him to trash. Time to show him true despair. A terrifying storm of energy gathers in an instant. With a sickening crack, the opponent's defenses crumble like paper. The heavy blow lands, twisting his face in agony. The victor is decided. Dust settles as Qin Jun stands atop the wall. Hearing the pleasant chime of experience points, a satisfied smile curls his lips. It seems hunting geniuses is the fastest way to level up. Problem solved. Time to enter the city. On both sides of the street, people whisper, their eyes filled with awe. A 16-year-old king defeating two geniuses from the human list. The legend is right before them, sparking disbelief and a burning curiosity about the human list. Learning that the famous Destiny Pavilion is within the city, Qin Jun gazes thoughtfully at the magnificent tower. But for now, the priority is finding a top-tier inn to wash away the journey's dust and fatigue. The atmosphere in the inn room turns steamy. The blushing dragon princess asks to share the bed, only to be ruthlessly shut down by Daji, citing the Lord's health. Wiping away sweat, Qin Jun stubbornly retorts that he's plenty fit. Why not test it tonight? The two girls erupt into a chaotic argument over sleeping rights, ruthlessly rejecting Qin Jun's suggestion of sleeping together. Finally, the noise fades, leaving him alone in the dim room, forcing a bitter smile as he summons the system interface. Seeing the surge in experience points, Qin Jun realizes that cultivation itself fuels his leveling. The system's subsequent explanation, that gods and demons already exist in this world, sharpens his gaze, as if he has just touched upon the world's deepest secret. Qin Jun knits his brows, calculating the allegiance of gods, his confusion turning into resolve. But as his gaze lands on the top rank, his pupils constrict in shock. The gap in power is terrifying. The group debates the hierarchy of power, voices thick with arrogance about bloodlines. Suddenly, the scene shifts. Ambush. In the wilderness, a lone rider is encircled by lethal intent. Facing the interrogation, Euclidean grins savagely, announcing his name with a roar. Qin Jun's eyes sharpen like blades, realizing the danger. A golden core expert who has defeated giants is here. Qin Yu is dead. The cold declaration strikes like thunder, making Euclidean spin around. In that moment of shock, the eerie dark owl emerges from the shadows, casting a veil of despair over the scene. Looking down from the cliff, the cloaked figure's gaze is bone-chilling, confirming the death. He ruthlessly signals the execution. The air thickens with suffocating murderous intent. Facing the enemy, Qin Jun arrogantly points forward, unleashing Fa Hai. The old monk clasps his hands, erupting in holy flames. Beneath his serene face lies a demon-subduing power ready to shake the heavens. I send you to the afterlife. Fa Hai roars, eyes wide with fury as a torrent of energy explodes. Before the enemy can react, they are blasted away by the devastating holy light, eyes filled with sheer terror. The battle ends, and system notifications chime like a reaper's melody. The silver-haired enemy lies in a pool of blood, a blade at his throat. He trembles, screaming his lineage in a desperate, distorted plea for mercy. Qin Jun's eyes are cold as he strikes, harvesting the final XP. Fa Hai frowns at the corpse, a sense of foreboding spreading in his heart. Killing this man might have unleashed a catastrophe. As predicted, the moment life fades, a purple bloodline mark manifests. It's not just a symbol, but a death notification sent to a land god realm master. The gears of fate begin to spin wildly. Far away, a terrifying entity senses the severed bloodline, erupting in purple aura. Meanwhile, though Qin Jun is unaware of the impending doom, The oppressive weight in the air becomes suffocating. Atop the peak, Qin Jun gazes into the distance, his eyes steely. For the upcoming tournament and the unknown vengeance heading his way, only one thought burns in his mind: become stronger at any cost. Meanwhile, at a mysterious altar, the powerful father reels from the loss of his son. Purple flames gather wildly in his palm as he stares in disbelief at the message, his rage on the brink of detonation. "You dare kill my son!" A harrowing roar shatters the silence. Eyes bloodshot, the elder's grief turns into a shockwave of destruction. He vows to tear the killer to pieces, resting only when blood is spilled. The order for vengeance is given. The elder summons a sinister, evil dragon phantom. With his venomous command, the evil force departs, tracking Qin Jun's trail like a relentless curse. Unaware of the danger, Qin Jun asks Fahai for teachings, only to be refused. Seeing the monk sweating nervously, Qin Jun lowers his gaze, unable to hide his disappointment and dejection. Just then, little dragon princess steps up, her face beaming with pride. She offers to teach Dragon Clan body refining techniques. Qin Jun's skepticism instantly ignites in a hope at the promise of dragon-like strength. Training begins. Blue lightning crackles wildly as Qin Jun grits his teeth against the agony of refinement. With a deafening boom, his body is reshaped in the light. It feels as if a dragon is awakening within him. After the pain comes immense joy. The system chimes like music from heaven. Undying holy body, fragment acquired, plus a free summon. Feeling the power of the first 3 levels, a euphoric smile spreads across Qin Jun's face. As his understanding deepens, grand visions of golden arhats and unity with the world fill his mind. Though incomplete, this earth-shattering power makes Qin Jun's heart race, his ambition burning brighter than the stars. Amidst the tender pink glow, Qin Jun makes a hard decision. Danger from the Dark Knight sect looms, so he commands the system, summon a god to protect them. The warm embrace fades, replaced by a chilling wind howling through a valley of bones. This is a land forsaken by man, where only death and demons roam. The ground quakes beneath their feet as a wall of dust swallows the horizon. Panic strikes. It's not just a pack, but a catastrophic beast tide, led by a demon king. Close the gates. Screams of terror pierce the air as civilians scramble for safety. On the horizon, a shadow of death races forward, threatening to consume everything. Atop the wall, the defender watches with a heavy heart. He holds back his hound, waiting for the inevitable breach, eyes locked on the destruction unfolding below. The gates groan under the assault, but Qin Jun stands firm, rage igniting the sky. In a burst of golden light, the ultimate mythic violence descends. Li Yuanba has arrived. The light fades, leaving Qin Jun wide-eyed in disbelief. The name strikes like thunder. It's the legendary, unstoppable warrior of the Tang dynasty. No technique, just pure, unadulterated power. Li Yuanba's hammers blur into motion, chains lashing out like dragons, crushing bones and silencing screams in an instant. Nearby, a warrior tries to hold the line, but is swatted aside like a fly. The impact sends her flying into the flames, highlighting the brutal gap in power. Watching the golden figure tear through the battlefield, Qin Jun's eyes burn with ambition. Despite warnings of the warrior's brutal nature, he knows he must claim this power. Daji's warnings fade as the true terror arrives. The sky turns crimson as the demon beast king, radiating murderous intent, finally steps onto the battlefield. Bunyumans. The Tiger King towers over them, surrounded by a crimson aura of death. His roar shatters the soldiers' courage, promising to tear them all to shreds. Facing the overwhelming pressure, Li Yuanba just grins, a predator seeing prey. A little puppy dares to bark, hammers raised, he rockets into the sky to clash head-on. The sky erupts in fire, but the so-called king is nothing before absolute strength. Li Yuanba smashes him down like an insect, his arrogance justified by terrifying power. From the fallen beast's remains, a pillar of purple energy blasts skyward. A furious voice booms from the void. "Who dares hurt my pet?" The mighty king was merely a toy to someone greater. Daji mocks the coward hiding in the shadows, but Qin Jun just smirks at the carnage. This brutal display is exactly the kind of intimidation he needs right now. As the crowd watches in shock, the terrifying god of death, Li Yuanba, lowers his weapons. Bowing respectfully to Qin Jun, he utters the word that changes everything. Benefactor. The system's memory implant is flawless. to Li Yuanba. Qin Jun is the savior who fed him when he was starving. This fabricated past forges an unbreakable bond of loyalty. The act is complete, and now comes the reward. Qin Jun gains an unstoppable general and a fortune in spirit stones. As for the hidden enemy, just another stepping stone. Just as he declares his grand ambition to crush the Star Sect, a foul stench assaults them. Qin Jun gags, all his majestic aura instantly defeated by sudden fart. Amidst ancient ruins, an eerie mist creeps in. Facing hidden dangers, Qin Jun remains unfazed, signaling Li Yuanba to follow, treating the venomous threat as nothing. Beneath his feet lies deadly ground, but his eyes gleam with calculation. This isn't just a trap, it's the perfect furnace to forge his indestructible holy body, using the poison. The giant serpent coils, glowing with ominous purple light. Ordinary cultivators freeze in defensive stances, trembling under the suffocating pressure as the air thickens. Silence shatters. With a deafening roar, thunderous energy explodes in the center of the battlefield, catching everyone completely off guard. The serpent rampages, forcing a desperate roar from the purple-haired man. Yet Qin Jun stands in white with hands behind his back, watching the chaos like a boring play. Is he trying to die? Amidst screams of terror, Qin Jun smirks and walks directly toward the rampaging beast, his steps calm and measured. A mere snake dares be arrogant before my benefactor. Li Yuanba's eyes bulge with rage as he unleashes a punch backed by mythical fury, shaking the very air. Scales shatter, the beast wails. Onlookers stare in disbelief. The defense that repelled blades was just torn apart by Qin Jun's bare hands with ease. Madness. He sits right in the toxic fog. As pain like 10,000 biting insects strikes, Qin Jun clenches his jaw, sweating profusely, forcibly devouring the deadly energy. To get stronger, to go home. Memories forge an iron will. He endures the absolute limit of agony, waiting for the sweet chime of the system. Golden light erupts, piercing the sky. Qin Jun snaps his eyes open, a confident smile forming. Golden core level 3, indestructible holy body, achieved. Now, the four who coveted the treasure approach trembling. In the face of absolute power, greed instantly transforms into fawning smiles. Take it. Qin Jun carelessly tosses the withered flower to them and turns away. The scraps of the strong are treasures to the weak. The killing intent fades, replaced by warmth. Little dragon girl excitedly checks Qin Jun's progress, genuinely proud of her brother's breakthrough, smiling brightly. The sweet peace of 2 days is shattered. On a distant rooftop, the genius Su Liejia can no longer suppress the flames of revenge, waiting for his prey. He's here. The news strikes like thunder. Su Liejia guzzles wine, hair wild in the wind, eyes burning with battle lust. Qin Jun, I've been waiting for you. A duel to the death. Su Liejia roars his challenge from above, while Qin Jun simply looks up, his gaze as calm as if looking at a corpse. To Qin Jun, this provocation means only one thing. Quest triggered. The system chimes. A new EXP package has delivered itself. Just in time. Ignoring the warnings, Qin Jun draws his blade, energy surging around him as he meets the so-called first genius of Kanglin head-on. Boom! Green and red lights collide violently in the sky. The impact shakes the earth, causing those in the know to scream in terror. You are fighting a monster. Outside the ancient walls, a destined encounter begins. The Su family offers a hollow apology while laying a deadly trap at Loya Pass, shocking the crowd and leaving their own daughter in disbelief at such despicable tactics. Crushed by his father's doubt and Qin Jun's mockery, Su Mingxing's pride shatters. Refusing to yield, he roars as green sword energy erupts, his awakened sword spirit declaring a desperate bid to wash away the humiliation. The battle erupts, but the gap in power is despairingly vast. With a mere finger, Qin Jun slices through the air, his contemptuous gaze dismissing Su Mingxing as he effortlessly shatters the proud sword energy. Before anyone can react, a torrent of violet-blue energy pours forth. With a deafening boom, Su Mingxing slams into the stone pavement, leaving the crowd petrified by Qin Jun's terrifying ability to crush a genius with bare hands. Dust settles, revealing Qin Jun standing like a god atop the wall, the defeated begging at his feet. Hearing the elder's hypocritical thanks, he offers only a cold smile, his effortless dominance sending a bone-chilling shiver through the fleeing enemies. Watching their retreating backs, Qin Jun feels nothing. For a true powerhouse, such opponents offer no thrill of battle, leaving the onlookers stunned in the wind, marveling at his invincible presence. While enemies plot in the dead of night to hire a nascent soul expert, Qin Jun cultivates peacefully at the inn. As the system chime rings out, not only is the quest complete, but a new power silently brews within. Luck strikes as a casual draw yields a god-tier item, staring at the world-destroying Gatling gun, gleaming with cold metal. Qin Jun's eyes widen before a wild grin spreads across his face. This is absolute overkill. Caressing the mass destruction weapon capable of sweeping armies, Qin Jun worries about chi consumption but can barely contain his battle lust. Hiding its edge for now, he waits for tomorrow, when the fury from another world will descend. Morning sunlight bathes the courtyard as Qin Jun stretches, enjoying a rare moment of peace. However, a murderous atmosphere outside the city gates instantly shatters the silence. An army awaits in formation. Li Yi, the guardian of Liya Pass, blocks the path, standing firm despite his colleagues' questioning. Meanwhile, from within the luxurious palanquin, a cold execution order is issued. Qin Jun is too dangerous and must be eliminated today. A rain of arrows screams through the air alongside enemy taunts, seemingly sealing his fate. Yet, Qin Jun shows no fear. Instead, blinding golden light erupts from him as he laughs wildly, just in time to use you as a sacrifice. Chapter 35. Gods and Demons Descend, meeting modern firepower. Wielding the Gatling gun, backed by peerless enchantresses and divine generals, Qin Jun vows to blast his way to the throne of the supreme god emperor in this cultivation world. Thunderous power. Qin Jun's fierce general roars amidst blue lightning, his godlike strength striking terror into the song Elder, hiding in the shadows. Fear breeds murderous intent as he hysterically screams the order to kill. The mask is off, it's do or die. With a hideous expression, Song Lang gathers all his spiritual energy into his palm, unleashing a purple beam of destruction aimed straight at Qin Jun's vitals with a vicious curse. Die. The strike should have been fatal, yet it halts abruptly. A gray-haired man catches the violent energy with a single hand. Under Song Lang's incredulous gaze, he offers a contemptuous smile, as if he had merely caught a falling leaf. You dare harm His Highness? The gray-haired man's eyes glow red as fury transforms into a thunderous strike. With a snap of shattering weapons, this punch not only crushes the enemy's attack, but obliterates Song Lang's very life force. Then the sky seems to collapse. Li Yuanba's giant hammer crashes down with world-destroying force. A golden storm of energy instantly swallows everything. The sturdy city tower crumbles like paper, screams drowned out by the deafening explosion. As the dust settles over the ruins, a deathly silence grips everyone. The Song father and son turn pale, cold sweat dripping, finally realizing that the man named Qin Jun is an existence they should never have dared to provoke. In the deep courtyard, leaves drift silently. Qin Jun's blue hair sways as he smiles with chilling composure. With Song Lang dead, he shows no hesitation for the brutal plan ahead, only a bloodthirsty satisfaction. Before his words fade, slaughter arrives. Moving like lightning, he instantly crushes his blonde opponent. Amidst the crunch of breaking bones and the system's notification chime, the one-sided battle ends in blood. On the desolate wild, Qin Jun stands coldly atop a rock, ordering the corpse sent as a gift to Kanglin. Meanwhile, in the distant palace, the Kanglin emperor's pupils contract violently as he lets out a roar of disbelief. Dead silence fills the hall. The white-haired minister trembles as he reports the grim news, every word striking like a heavy hammer. As the emperor descends the steps, a suffocating silence brews a thunderstorm of rage. Fury instantly ignites the palace. The emperor roars at his incompetent subjects. Just then, the first prince steps from the shadows, a cold smile on his lips as a venomous plan takes shape. Father and son lock eyes, weaving webs of power. As the prince calmly analyzes a plan to kill with a borrowed knife, the emperor's rage turns to stern pressure, transforming the intent to kill into an absolute command. Days later, the conspiracy fades into the background. Amidst towering mountains, a massive convoy approaches the magnificent gate. Under the blue sky, a grand gathering of heroes is about to unveil. Finally arrived at the Manhua dynasty, disguised as a purple-haired youth, Qin Jun stands before the gate. Watching the bustling crowd and the mysterious glowing orb, his eyes sparkle with excitement for the new journey. However, curiosity fades fast. After learning of the orb's surveillance, he spots soldiers brazenly harassing a woman outside the gate. The ugly scene instantly casts a shadow over his bright mood. Watching the helpless woman struggle, Qin Jun thinks of Daji and Shaoli. If he doesn't act, this evil will eventually befall his own people. His gaze sharpens. A decision has been made. If he's going to make a scene, he'll make it big. Qin Jun pulls the woman in red close, staging a flirtatious act in plain sight. Disguised as harassment, it is actually a naked provocation to the guards. Ignoring his companion's worries, he kisses her recklessly under the sun, pink bubbles seemingly rising around them. It's not just taking advantage. It's an arrogant declaration that he holds no regard for their rules. The guards are finally provoked, but Qin Jun turns the tables. Head held high, he uses twisted logic of seniors lecturing juniors to belittle the aggressive royal guards, mocking them to the extreme. The moment the guard reaches out again, Qin Jun drops the facade. Blocking the woman, his smile turns into cold, murderous intent. Though he claims it's for Daji, the rage in his eyes can no longer be suppressed. Suddenly, he turns to the crowd, arms spread wide, his voice booming across the square. No longer the flirtatious rogue, he becomes an agitator, loudly questioning if they will continue to endure this baseless humiliation. The crowd is ignited. Qin Jun's words are like a sharp knife, piercing the Manhua dynasty's hypocritical majesty. Amidst the heated debate, a humiliated soldier finally snaps, drawing his blade. Conflict is imminent. Cultivation is for longevity, but more for freedom. Facing the slashing blade, Qin Jun advances. Amidst the violent energy explosion, though seemingly battered, he stands proud, challenging power with his own flesh. As more soldiers swarm, a thunderous roar shatters the air. The one-eyed, blindfolded Li Yuanba descends from the sky. Fists wrapped in flames, he vows to smash these ants who dare harm his lord in a pulp. The tables turn instantly. Beneath the city walls, Qin Jun leads his gods and demons in a forceful standoff. Daji's look of disgust treats them like trash, their absolute power declaring, "You want to stop us? You're not worthy." Panic spreads among the guards. Even the walls tremble. Just then, the black-robe enforcer Su Giku appears. Sensing Xiao Li's terrifying aura, his single eye flashes red, forced to take these invaders seriously. Conflict erupts at the gates as the golden-haired man steps forward, denouncing the guards' insolence. Meanwhile, a burly man, despite his shy demeanor, flashes a killing intent that sharply contrasts with his appearance. The soldiers, paralyzed by fear, fall to their knees, begging for mercy. Suddenly, a terrifying pressure descends as the black-robed Su Giku appears, his overwhelming aura instantly dominating the scene. Distant observers watch in awe, reassessing the dynasty's power. Su Giku locks his gaze on the blue-clad youth, attempting to intimidate him, only to be met with a look of utter disdain and arrogance. Learning the youth is an orphan, Su Giku playfully offers to take him as an apprentice. Unexpectedly, the boy flatly refuses. "I won't bow to someone weaker than me." His audacity even brings a smile to the purple-haired man's face. Humiliated by the rejection, Su Giku vows to tame this arrogant brat. As the dust settles, the purple-haired man begins plotting for the upcoming tournament, though worry gnaws at him regarding Xiao Li's dragon identity. On the peak, the purple-haired man invites Li Yuanba to the tournament, eyes gleaming with calculation. Facing Yuanba's disdain for weak opponents, he dangles an irresistible bait, a game of clearing the field and mutual victory. "High five, it's a deal." Brushing off his companion's teasing about being shameless, he justifies a scheme for fame and victory. The group sets off for Luoyan City, where a new storm is brewing. Meanwhile, in a deep hall, a mysterious sect master scrutinizes his mediocre disciples. His thoughts, however, drift to the brilliant youth at the gate, and a greedy fire of determination ignites in his eyes. Meanwhile, Qin Jun is fully equipped. Surrounded by gods and demons, guns in hand, the future God Emperor stands ready to make the entire cultivation world tremble in the upcoming trials. Blue flames flicker in the testing hall as examiners hold their breath. The crystal sphere reveals the silhouette of a genius. An 8-star talent rating shatters the silence, signaling the rise of a new star. Not just 8 stars, it's 9. Gasps explode across the hall as examiners stare in disbelief. It's a legendary talent grade, enough to drive any sect into a frenzy. 9 stars shine brilliantly, causing the elders to lose their composure in a scramble to recruit this peerless genius. But the shock isn't over. cries erupt again as a second 9-star monster emerges. As the smoke clears, Qin Jun stands proudly in his violet gold emperor armor, surveying the scene coldly. With two 9-star geniuses passing at once, the routine test has instantly turned into a battlefield of titans. On the platform, Qin Jun basks in worship and cheers the privilege of the strong. However, a white-robed examiner locks his gaze on the armor, greed hissing silently in his eyes like a venomous snake. Feeling the greedy stares, Qin Jun suddenly realizes, "Crap, I forgot to unequip the Emperor armor." Panic sets in as he tries to play it cool, asking about the procedure, only to be teased for his bugged-out eyes. Though the examiner announces their passing, a murderous intent to kill and loot hides behind his fake smile. Qin Jun senses it instantly, while beside him, Li Yuanba is itching to tear the old thief apart right there. "Your Highness, let me kill him." Yuanba glares fiercely. Qin Jun holds him back, calculating. If we kill him now, we can't compete. For the sake of the system rewards, he chooses patience, marking this debt for later. Leaving the arena, they are met with overwhelming cheers. The murderous tension melts in the sunlight as Qin Jun and Yuanba share a smile, dissolving the stress with playful banter, embodying the ease of victors. Victory won. It's time to feast. The group gathers around the table, laughter mingling with the clinking of glasses. Elders heap praise upon Qin Jun, convinced that His Highness is destined to conquer the martial arts tournament. Amidst the aroma of wine at the banquet, as Qin Jun modestly raises his glass, Tai-Bai Jinxing drops a bombshell. The poet Godly buys crossing mountains and sees to serve him. Qin Jun is shaken, questioning the system in disbelief. Upon learning that while Li Bai is coming by fate, his realm is merely void transformation, he frowns, unable to hide his disappointment. Turns out Vega suppressed Li Bai's power for the bigger picture. The truth makes Qin Jun choke on his wine, while the system hastily reassures him that growth is expected. Regaining his composure, Qin Jun returns to normal. At Li Yuanba's suggestion, the group sets down their cups and steps into the sunny courtyard in high spirits. Meanwhile, in a corner of Luoyan City, a purple-clad maid inquires about Qin Jun to a mysterious white-haired woman, seeking a chance to terminate the engagement. A flash of morbid possessiveness flickers in the white-haired woman's eyes as she vows to kill him if he fails her. Below, the unsuspecting Qin Jun has already become prey. A sharp instinct alerts Qin Jun to the gaze behind him. Exchanging a glance with Li Yuanba, they discreetly lure the stalker towards a desolate dead end. Discovered, the stalkers drop their disguise. Two figures block the path like ghosts, their greedy eyes fixed on Qin Jun as they demand his treasure. The purple-robed examiner erupts with a suffocating, evil aura. With a ferocious glare, he issues a final ultimatum, or else die. Just as tensions reach their peak, it feels as if the gears of fate are turning, with the terrifying power of gods and demons gathering in the shadows, ready for slaughter. Facing the threat, Qin Jun sneers and gives the attack order. Li Yuanba instantly lights up with excitement, grinning savagely as he charges like a beast released from its cage. A pillar of golden light crashes down like a meteor, instantly shattering the examiner's defense. Violent energy explodes in the air, obliterating the arrogant threat. As the dust settles, Li Yuanba holds him effortlessly. The examiner realizes in horror that his opponent surpasses the void transformation realm, his greed turning instantly to desperate fear. It is too late to beg for mercy. The golden flame in Li Yuanba's hand rises, his cold words shattering any illusion the examiner had of escaping. With a maniacal laugh, a devastating pillar of gold crashes down again. The earth cracks, and the examiner's figure, so insignificant before absolute power, is instantly swallowed by the light. Amidst the ruins, the battered examiner coughs up blood, regretting his underestimation of these sheep. Meanwhile, in the distance, a pair of pink eyes watches the scene coldly. Faced with the examiner trying to use his rank as a shield, the killing intent in Qin Jun's eyes only intensifies. Since the bridge is burned, eliminating the root of the problem is the only choice. Bang! The muzzle flashes as Qin Jun pulls the trigger with a smile. Accompanied by the system's level-up notification, a living life is ruthlessly converted into his experience points. Mr. Su rushes to the scene, only to find a corpse. Instead of showing remorse, Qin Jun retorts self-righteously, his arrogant attitude completely igniting Mr. Su's fury. If reason fails, let fists do the talking. Qin Jun fearlessly declares war on Mr. Su and his faction as a violent battle intent reaches its breaking point in the courtyard. Purple flames clash violently with golden divine light, the thunderous impact shaking the heavens. Yet, facing a formidable foe, Qin Jun smirks greedily. To him, this land god realm expert is nothing more than walking experience points. Before his words settle, Qin Jun is wreathed in purple lightning, charging forward as a blur. Provoked by such arrogance, Su Giku flares with golden fire, and the two clash head-on in an instant. Just as the battle stalemates and killing intent boils over, a long roar echoes from the sky. A sharp figure riding a sword pierces through the air, their unknown and powerful presence instantly shattering the battlefield's balance. Clad in snow white, swaying a wine pot, it is the Green Lotus Sword immortal, Li Bai. Seeing his long-awaited reinforcement, Qin Jun's eyes light up, while Li Bai's contemptuous gaze signs the enemy's death warrant. No need for wasted words. Li Bai swings his sword, unleashing a torrential downpour of blue sword energy. This strike carries poetry, but conceals utter destruction. Too fast. Su Giku's pupils dilate. He's engulfed by the sword energy before he can react. Coughing up blood, he looks up in trembling despair, unable to comprehend the crushing gap in power. Dominance established in one strike. Li Bai stands proudly on the rooftop, his red eyes filled with cold arrogance. It's merely a warning. Yet even Li Yuanba below cannot help but marvel at such overpowering aura. The enemy retreats, but these battle-hungry gods won't settle down. Seeing Li Bai descend, Li Yuanba's fighting spirit ignites. If not for intervention, a civil war would have erupted right there. In the courtyard, Li Bai kneels on one knee, solemnly pledging his loyalty. Hearing the system notification, Qin Jun is ecstatic with the Green Lotus Sword Immortal's allegiance. Another pillar supports his ambition for a divine empire. The storm settles, and the scene shifts to a bustling restaurant. While everyone drinks and dines, an old monk in the corner frowns, seemingly sensing the scent of a new conspiracy amidst the peace. At the table, Qin Jun discusses the upcoming martial arts competition. Though he disdains relying on the powerful, he is absolutely determined to claim the enticing rewards of the tournament. Suddenly, three eerie shadows appear in the rain outside. Before anyone can react, a cold voice pierces through the sound of the rain. Emissaries of the Sword God sect have arrived uninvited. The word Sword God sect silenced the entire restaurant instantly. Yet, Qin Jun merely smiles faintly, puts down his cup, and looks at these uninvited guests with amusement. They condescendingly extend an olive branch of recruitment, leaving the bystanders stunned and envious. To ordinary people, becoming a core disciple of the Sword God sect is like ascending to heaven in a single step. Will I have freedom if I join? Qin Yun excomni. Upon receiving a negative answer, he closes his eyes without hesitation and lightly drops a single word. Sorry. This dismissive attitude thoroughly enrages the arrogant emissary. Facing threats, Qin Jun simply turns and walks away with easy grace, leaving behind a dashing silhouette. He values absolute freedom far more than their so-called glory. I also despise such servile rules. Li Bai laughs loudly, his sword humming in resonance. Though the emissaries grit their teeth, fearful of the public eye, they can only leave behind harsh threats and retreat in disgrace. Back inside, his subordinates still lament the missed opportunity. Qin Jun remains calm. He knows well that a sect which restricts him would only slow down his march toward domination. I can't wait that long besides. Qin Jun looks confidently into the void as the system's crisp notification chimes right on time. A new monthly summon is ready. This is his true foundation. Excusing himself from the group, Qin Jun returns to his room alone. At his command, the system's wheel spins once more. Amidst the light, another peerless god is about to descend. With a crisp notification, Qin Jun raises his finger in excitement, only to be instantly swallowed by eerie green energy, turning joy into sheer panic. An aura of the underworld erupts as black and white impermanents appear like phantoms in the green light. Their ghastly visages send Qin Jun stumbling back with a curse. Realizing they are wandering souls indebted to his ancestors, Qin Jun's terror subsides into curiosity as he listens to Black Impermanence's respectful explanation. White Impermanence presents a glowing soul summoning bell, solemnly promising that a single ring will summon them instantly from anywhere in the underworld. Learning that even heavenly cultivators cannot sense their presence, Qin Jun rests his chin on his hand, a glint in his eye and a satisfied smile on his lips. Dismissing the two gods, Qin Jun stretches lazily before sitting cross-legged, re-entering a state of cultivation to gather strength amidst the silent moonlight. Suddenly, a sharp snap breaks the silence, smelling the coma incense. Qin Jun instantly goes on alert, drawing his modern firearm with rising murderous intent. Smoke drifts from the gun barrel as Qin Jun sneers. With a body invulnerable to poison, he is no longer a lamb to be slaughtered, his eyes filled with confident disdain. Meanwhile, a violent crash echoes through the ancient night streets. Sensing the warning from the spirit pet, Su Daji's eyes widen as she lets out a startled cry. Murderous intent revealed. A black-clad assassin strikes from the shadows, blade aiming for Qin Jun's vitals. But in this nick of time, Su Daji descends from the sky. But Qin Jun is prepared. Blue light explodes around him as he strikes back with his sword, his roar carrying the majesty of a king as he parries the fatal blow. Amidst the crossfire of sword energy, Su Daji tears through the air. Her cry of kill carries a biting chill, instantly crushing the enemy's arrogance. Seeing the tide turn, the assassin turns to flee. Qin Jun sneers and pulls out the soul-summoning bell, ignoring Daji's anxious warnings about the artifact's backlash. "I know what I'm doing." Qin Jun smiles confidently and shakes his wrist. Eerie green sound waves instantly transform into a vortex, cloaking the block in ghostly energy. The nether wind howls as ghostly green fires rage through the narrow space, turning the silent night into a forbidden slaughterhouse. Black and white impermanence appear on command. With a face full of murderous intent, Qin Jun orders them to hunt down the fugitive and eradicate his organization. Crisis averted, Daji is utterly shocked to learn the underworld gods serve Qin Jun, while he takes the opportunity to tease the peerless beauty, shifting the mood to romance. After a bout of flirtatious banter, the two snuggle under the moonlight, while in the distance, a new storm of blood brews in the dead silence of the Sword God Sect branch. Inside the Sword God Sect hall, the gravely injured assassin kneels, coughing up blood as he tremblingly reports his miserable failure to the 13th Elder, despair filling the air. Just as the Elder is about to interrogate him, the screech of swords pierces the air outside. Qin Jun's messengers of death have arrived with a roar that shakes the gates. A desperate cry is cut short as a palm of purple energy smashes into his face. From the settling dust, a white-haired elder descends with terrifying pressure, leaving the attacker frozen in shock, paralyzed by the sudden arrival of such a master. The tables turn instantly. The once mighty elder now writhes in agony, bound by glowing green chains. From the shadows, a mysterious figure watches coldly, his mocking voice sealing the elder's fate like a judge from the underworld. As the chains tighten, the elder gasps out a final question, only to be met with a chilling sneer. Two dark figures close and like reapers, daggers gleaming, delivering a final, cold truth. He provoked someone far beyond his league. Meanwhile, the horrifying news spreads like a plague through the tavern. Amidst the cold rain, whispers recount the rumor. The invincible Sword God Sect branch has been wiped out in a single night, leaving nothing but corpses behind. Fear ripples through the crowd, while at the teleportation plaza, golden lightning tears through the sky. Amidst the chaotic energy, two cloaked figures stand silent and unmoving, watching the storm like harbingers of a new era. Deep within the Sword God Sect, the atmosphere is suffocating. Elder Fei fixes his piercing gaze on his subordinate, his voice dripping with authority as he demands answers regarding the massacre that happened right under their noses. Facing the interrogation, the purple-haired man feigns helplessness with a sly smile, describing the enemy as a ghost. Internally, however, he schemes to bury the truth, his sinister gaze revealing a calculated deceit to save his own skin. Unsatisfied, the elder decides to investigate personally as the liar slips away. 2 days later, the Qianlong martial arts competition erupts with golden light. The host's booming voice announces the start of a brutal trial amidst the roaring crowd. The rules are brutal and simple. Survive in an alternate dimension until only 100 remain. Young cultivators clutch their wooden lifelines, listening to the 1-week time limit with a mix of hunger for glory and fear of death. As the line moves through the portal, Elder Fei's sharp gaze locks onto Qin Jun and Li Yuanba. A meaningful smile plays on his lips. His words of encouragement drip with the chilling subtext of a predator eyeing its prey. In the shadows, Elder Fei connects the dots. With a master like Li Bai backing him and a history of bad blood, Qin Jun becomes the prime suspect. Narrowing his golden eyes, he decides to peel back the boy's secrets during the upcoming trial. Murderous intent surges. To crush the threat, he must strike fast. The scene shifts instantly to a sunlit forest, but beneath the peaceful canopy, deadly traps are already being laid. Qin Jun's stroll is abruptly halted by a piercing system alert. A side quest triggers. Elder Fei, a land god realm master, already suspects him. To avoid being hunted by the entire Sword God sect, he must perfectly conceal the truth during this trial. Facing a desperate situation surrounded by enemies, Qin Jun quickly regains his cool. He instructs the Roaring Sky Dog to keep a low profile, and they reach a tacit understanding. Yet, moments later, he soars into the sky on golden light, deciding to regroup with his powerhouse, Li Yuanba. So much for keeping a low profile. Qin Jun shouts into the sky, responding to a brazen aura in the distance, classic Li Yuanba style. His cry not only startles those on the ground, but also attracts a group of hostile cultivators flying nearby. Enemies block his path, their mockery barely finished before meeting Qin Jun's icy red gaze. Surrounded by these mere golden core cultivators, a cruel smile curls his lips. If they are in such a hurry to die, he will gladly oblige. The battle erupts instantly. The golden-haired youth unleashes terrifying power, smashing enemies aside like ragdolls. The cultivators who were just boasting now flee in terror, desperate to escape this human beast. Hammers swing, turning flesh to pulp, while hidden observers tremble in fear, recognizing the nine-star god of death, Li Yuanba. After clearing the trash, Yuanba instantly suppresses his aura, bowing respectfully to Qin Jun as if the slaughter was merely a warm-up. Qin Jun leads Li Yuanba deeper into the valley, plotting their domination. Suddenly, a deafening roar tears through the sky. A purple vortex swirls ahead, radiating the aura of a dragon. Their eyes light up instantly. Big game ahead. Above the lake, purple lightning dances wildly as the massive serpent writhes in transformation, its suffocating pressure freezing the onlookers in awe. Within the giant claw, the dragon pearl shines. A subordinate's eyes flash with greed as he offers to seize it, but Qin Jun calmly refuses. This prey belongs to the emperor alone. Torrential rain falls as the night is torn apart by killing intent. Spear in hand, Qin Jun roars his challenge at the arrogant purple dragon, vowing to seize the pearl. Inside the magic array, alliances shatter instantly. Spiritual energy explodes in a chaotic clash as greedy roars fill the air. No one is willing to yield the supreme opportunity. Away from the chaos, Qin Jun watches with cold calculation. He questions the system, confirming if the heavy silver spear in his hand truly holds the forbidden power to devour dragon souls. The system's cold prompt sounds like music. It is the nemesis of dragons. A smirk of arrogant ambition curls on Qin Jun's lips. Awakening the dragon soul within will surely shatter his limits. A familiar voice breaks his contemplation as Li Yuanba arrives with explosive presence. Qin Jun's gaze turns sharp as a blade, coldly declaring his sovereignty over the prize to the rivals. Target locked, hesitation vanishes. With a single command, Qin Jun transforms into a streak of light, plunging into the torrent to slaughter the beast holding the treasure. Sensing danger, the dragon roars in fury, its terrifying purple breath vaporizing the waterfall. The weak scream in panic, fleeing frantically before the devastating energy. In a moment of despair, a golden light stands firm like a mountain. Li Yuanba laughs wildly, his slender frame erupting with earth-shaking power to clash head-on with the dragon's might. Amidst the roar, the enemy is blasted away. Watching that godlike golden silhouette, a raging fire ignites in Qin Jun's eyes, a burning desire to reach that pinnacle of power. Holding nothing back, the team unleashes a storm of divine abilities. Seizing the opening, Qin Jun strikes, his spear wrapped in eerie blue light, piercing viciously towards the dragon. Dragon scales shatter, blood sprays. The silver dragon soul, destroying spear reveals its terrifying suppression. The dragon screams in agony, contempt in its eyes turning to fear. The battlefield is instantly swallowed by blinding blue light, power beyond the mortal realm. Enemies stare dumbfounded, unable to believe the miracle unfolding before them. Victory hangs on this move. With hair dancing wildly, Qin Jun slashes out a fatal blow like a demon. Instant bloom erupts, the blue energy stream piercing the dragon's body. But chaos strikes suddenly. A terrifying shockwave explodes from the depths. Qin Jun's figure falls into the abyss like a broken kite, drawing heart-wrenching cries from his allies. The lake churns with violent waves, refusing to calm. Onlookers whisper, convinced that challenging a higher realm beast was suicide. Despair begins to spread through the air. Beneath the abyss, it is not the end. Qin Jun stands firm within the dragon's maw, his aura exploding as he forcibly withstands the crushing bite force that could shatter mountains. Just as the dust seemed to settle, a figure descends from the heavens with overwhelming force. It is not just a miracle of survival, but a declaration of the king's return. At this moment, Qin Jun descends like a god of slaughter. A blue spirit dragon coils around him, and his cold eyes hold no trace of emotion, only the supreme intent to slaughter gods. The silver dragon soul-destroying spear erupts, piercing the black dragon in a single strike. The dragon's soul screams as it's devoured, transforming into a storm of brilliant blue energy. The weapon ascends, shaking the heavens. As the dragon falls, a blinding golden pearl drops, instantly attracting a swarm of greedy cultivators. Seeing his loot snatched, Qin Jun's rage ignites, spiritual energy surging wildly in his palm. Dare to touch my treasure? You seek death. He dives down atop the spirit dragon, his roar exploding like thunder. Tired of living? Before the cowards can beg for mercy, terrifying golden hammers crash down with destructive force, turning the earth into a sea of fire. High above, Qin Jun looks down with cold eyes, delivering a final ultimatum. 3 seconds to scram or die. Yet, the desperados below, relying on their numbers, roar in delusional confidence and charge. If you want death, you shall have it. Qin Jun sneers, summoning a massive crimson cannon that spits golden fire. Cultivator shields shatter like paper before the torrent of modern destruction, and screams instantly fill the sky. Ha ha! Who else dares? Amidst the roar of the cannon, enemies are blown away like ragdolls. Qin Jun lowers the smoking barrel, a look of arrogant disdain curling his lips. A bunch of monkeys daring to challenge a tiger. As the smoke clears, the team moves on. Daji leans in close to Qin Jun, eyes full of admiration, whispering softly, "Your Highness is so mighty." The atmosphere shifts instantly from slaughter to romance as they laughingly decide to hunt where the crowds are. Despite the slaughter, Qin Jun is puzzled by the lack of experience points. Meanwhile, under the starry sky outside the realm, 2 black-robed figures watch through a crystal orb, seemingly holding a key clue regarding a scythe-wielding killer. The killer who slaughtered the sword god sect branch used a scythe. It's definitely not Qin Jun's subordinate. The robed figures analyze with grave expressions. The true culprit likely possesses land god realm power. The conspiracy runs deeper than imagined. It turns out to be black and white impermanence guarding their master from the shadows. To clear His Highness's name, they decide to manipulate rumors to divert the sword god sect's attention. Outside this perilous realm, they're Qin Jun's most solid defense. Back in the forest, Qin Jun looks bewildered. He did nothing, yet the hidden mission conceal the truth completed automatically? Gifted a free draw, he hesitates not a moment, spinning the wheel in anticipation of a new surprise. Just as the draw begins, terrified screams erupt from ahead. Zhonglun, possessed by a savage ape bloodline, has completely lost control, launching a frantic, indiscriminate attack on the crowd with a suffocating, terrifying aura. Amidst the chaotic rain, fleeing cultivators are in a sorry state. Qin Jun frowns slightly, catching a familiar name, Zhonglun. It seems this sudden riot is another disaster caused by a bloodline backlash. Ding! Obtain 10 sky exploding thunder grenades. The system reward arrives, a weapon capable of blowing nascent soul cultivators to bits. Qin Jun toys with the black iron ball in his hand, casting a cold gaze toward the out-of-control beast in the distance. Save me! The fleeing group is filled with angry shouts of blame, but it's too late. The massive ape shadow blots out the sky as a berserk strike crashes down, shattering the earth and instantly swallowing desperate cries in the roar. Seeing the giant ape charging with unstoppable force, his companions prepare to strike, but Qin Jun raises a hand to stop them. Gripping the thunder grenade, his eyes show no fear, only the excitement of a hunter. Leave this trifle to me. The fuse ignites, and Qin Jun hurls the iron ball. Before the berserk ape can react, a blinding light explodes before its eyes. Boom! A terrifying shockwave instantly swallows its massive frame. Smoke billows, the explosion's aftershock forcing everyone back. Staring at the massive, charred crater in the ground, Even Qin Jun clicks his tongue in amazement. The power of this sky-exploding thunder grenade is truly terrifying. What kind of magical artifact was that? Facing their shock, Qin Jun calmly explains it's a thunder grenade capable of instantly killing nascent souls. Seeing Nan Yusin's disbelief, he smiles mysteriously, keeping the system secret. Crisis averted, Qin Jun finally clarifies the XP mechanics. The contest is like a dungeon, with rewards settled at the end. Relieved, he looks at the darkening sky and waves his hand. Let's go. Time to find a place to rest. Night covers the forest. Around the campfire, talk turns to an anomaly, Zhang Lun. His participation with a unique bloodline sparks both shock and suspicion in the quiet dark. While she dismisses her enemies with a laugh, Qin Jun mentally maps out the 7 big sects. His eyes snap open with resolve. Power is the only goal, regardless of the banner. His pitch is met with indignation, but a sudden system chime freezes him. A new main quest triggers: transform the kingdom into a dynasty within 50 years, or face severe punishment. The system reveals the ultimate reward. Visions of radiant heavenly generals and chilling underworld soldiers materialize, showcasing a force that spans both the celestial and the infernal. Ancient demonic saints loom in the void. Realizing the potential of this unstoppable army, Qin Jun's expression twists into a mask of fanatical ecstasy. Absolute power is within reach. Just as his ambition swells to a fever pitch, the silence shatters. Greedy shouts ring out from the darkness. Enemies have tracked the Dragon Pearl, turning the camp into a hunting ground. Explosions tear up the camp. Surrounded by 50 mockers, Qin Jun rises from the smoke. His eyes burn with cold fury as a dragon aura coils around him. The prey has become the predator. A heavy weapon roars, unleashing a torrent of energy that sends the ambushers screaming in terror. In the distance, an observer watches the carnage with an amused, stunned smirk. Panic spreads as survivors flee, crying monster. Qin Jun steps forward with a mocking grin, greeting the newcomers amidst the chaos of expanding shockwaves. Guns raised, Qin Jun faces the abyss. The low growls of the pack vibrate through the air, signaling the start of a bloody harvest against the demonic wolves. The pack lunges, but Qin Jun remains unmoved. With a wave of blue spiritual energy, he suppresses the beasts, prioritizing the hunt over the fleeing humans. A dragon phantom rises behind Qin Jun as he treats the deadly clash as mere training. Seeing his master engage, Li Yuanba leaps into the fray with earth-shattering force. Spear meets scale. The impact is visceral, provoking a deafening roar as man and monster are engulfed in a violent explosion of blue lightning. Emerging from the dust, Qin Jun clicks his tongue in dissatisfaction. To the awestruck spectators, however, the battlefield has become a stage for him and Li Yuanba to showcase their dominance. Silence returns to the forest, now littered with carcasses. While Yuanba complains about the lack of targets, Qin Jun secretly marvels at his subordinates' terrifying efficiency. The tension shifts from battle to romance. Qin Jun leans in, asking for help with a bloodstain, his heart racing not from danger, but from the sudden, awkward intimacy. Her touch sends a jolt through him. But in the shadows, a jealous observer clenches his fists, his aura flaring with murderous intent at the intimate scene. While banter continues, a dark truth surfaces. He holds the pulsating core of the demon Wolf King, a revelation that proves his power defies all logic. Logic suggests luck, but instinct screams danger. Forcing down his suspicion, the observer suggests a retreat, eager to escape the bloody scent and the enigma named Qin Jun. In the gloomy forest, the white-haired man firmly refuses the red-clad woman's offer of protection. His eyes, longing for independent growth, reveal a resolute farewell. Meanwhile, under the starlit seaside sky, Qin Jun hears the howling celestial dogs report. Curling his lips into a confident smile, he decisively orders, "Let's go back." Elsewhere, the tranquility by the campfire is shattered by a greedy exclamation. Everyone instantly goes on alert, looking around in fear. Who's there? Purple aura fills the air as 4 golden core experts emerge from the shadows. Their leader eyes the red-clad woman with lustful intent, ordering a ruthless slaughter. The battle erupts instantly. Facing the enemy's mockery, the silver-haired youth suddenly ignites with eerie purple flames, his cold killing intent freezing the very air. With a furious roar, terrifying purple energy erupts like a volcano. In this moment, The hunted prey instantly transforms into a devouring beast. The tide turns as Qin Jun descends like a god, purple light illuminating his arrogant face. Raising his gun, he pronounces final judgment on his enemies. You are next. Amidst thunder and rain, the cornered senior brother tries to take a hostage, only to be ruthlessly mocked by the man radiating an eerie purple aura, complicating the situation. Suddenly, the purple-haired man's body contorts violently, a bizarre red light igniting in his right eye. His pained howls terrify his companions. Senior brother, what's wrong? I just want to help this kid get what he wants. A massive demonic shadow looms behind him, its voice sinister and terrifying, shattering any remaining disguise. Seeing this, Qin Jun orders without hesitation. Yuan Ba, smash him. A golden figure shoots out like a cannonball, terrifying the newly awakened demon into fleeing. Boom! The power of the golden-winged rock clashes head-on with ancient demonic energy. The violent shockwave instantly destroys the surrounding forest, scattering rocks and dust. While the demonic cultivator is still shocked by such monstrous strength, Li Yuanba's iron fist arrives, his blunt answer accompanying the sound of cracking bones. I'm the one here to kill you. Outside the fray, the howling celestial dog reveals the truth. That is an ancient demonic soul parasitic within him. It is no longer just a duel, but a battle to exorcise a demon. Seeing the demonic energy surge, the short-tempered Li Yuanba is thoroughly enraged. His body erupts in golden light as he roars. I'm pissed off. The terrifying true form of the golden-winged rock is about to awaken, scaring the demon out of his wits, while teammates scream in panic. Yuanba, calm down. Don't expose yourself. Qin Jun frowns, worried about exposing Yuanba to the Sword God sect. Yet hearing the system's kill demon quest trigger, a gleam of calculation flashes in his eyes. With the crisis momentarily averted, facing the girl's stubborn desire for independence, Qin Jun domineeringly cuts her off. I don't care. From now on, you must follow me. The girl agrees with tears in her eyes. Qin Jun takes her hand and turns to leave. Behind them, the dying enemy begs for help, only to be met with a merciless sword gleam. Under the gloomy blue night, the group marches deep into the forest. Though the path is uncertain, they have made a pact to cultivate and dominate the future. The courtyard seems peaceful at sunset, yet a mysterious figure watches from the shadows. Suddenly, a suffocating demonic aura detonates, sending purple-black shockwaves rippling through the air, shattering the silence. Cultivator, someone screams. Amidst the smoke, Li Yuanba roars in anger, while a sharp-eyed observer detects eerie spatial power. This is no mortal technique, but a demon from the heavens. The scene shifts to the ruins of the arena, where a once bustling town lies in debris. Survivors gaze up at a hovering energy orb, eyes filled with despair. There might not even be 100 of us left. Time's up. At the referee's cold command, the devastating purple storm finally subsides. Survivors tremble in relief, while Qin Jun's side glares with unsatisfied bloodlust. Mother asterisk her, daring to ambush me. Qin Jun storms out of the battlefield, rage still burning. But he quickly composes himself, approaching the registry with a smirk. The victor has the privilege to bring servants to the capital. The brush strikes, leaving a bold victory on the page. The system chimes like celestial music, pouring massive experience into his body. Golden light erupts, golden core level 5, achieved. Unlike Qin Jun's ecstasy, the major sects are plunged into icy terror. Elders stare at shattered life tablets, demanding to know who slaughtered their disciples. The answer is singular, a demonic cultivator. When I catch him, I'll tear him to pieces. Vengeful fire burns in his eyes. Yet Senior Gu looks grave, pointing out that a demon soul capable of teleporting with a body must come from the higher realms. Once the demon soul merges completely with Yi Xian, the consequences will be unimaginable. The warning is dire, yet Qin Jun smiles with contempt, eyes sharp. With Li Yuanba and the Impermanence duo, what is a mere demonic cultivator? With a plan in mind, Qin Jun hesitates no more and takes his leave. Just outside, a servant respectfully hands over the intelligence. Everything is under the control of this future emperor. Night falls. Qin Jun stares at the ring, unable to hide his excitement. Finally, he can cultivate the invincible holy body level 2, steel bones. He lies back in the courtyard, savoring the silence before the grind. The medicinal bath is scalding like liquid magma. The cat-eared maid Xiao Li holds the fiery flower soup with concern, But Qin Jun's eyes blaze as he grits his teeth and commands, "Pour it in. This pain is nothing." Our agony strikes instantly, as if fire consumes his body. Even with veins popping from the pain, his competitive spirit remains unbroken. The ranking refreshed? If I'm not first, don't tell me. Rank 673 in the righteous camp. Xiaoli whispers. Qin Jun groans in pain. Though not at the top, it's a record that scorns the southern region. The girl watches, sighing helplessly at his stubbornness. Finally, all pain transforms into power. Qin Jun rises abruptly, muscles hard as steel, radiating golden light. He pulls up the system panel, eyes filled with the confidence of the strong as he surveys his skyrocketing stats. Striking while the iron is hot, he trains relentlessly in the courtyard, sword energy slashing through the air. Only when called for dinner does he suppress his aura, don a white robe, and return to the guise of a gentle noble. Toasts are exchanged as they celebrate the victory. Yet amidst the harmony, a blue-haired figure sends a secret transmission. "Your Highness, meet me in the forest." Undercurrents surge once more. The scene cuts back as Qin Jun goes to the meeting alone. A late-night invitation from the black and white death gods is no idle chat. It seems they have finally found the trail of the demonic cultivator. Leaving the banquet, Qin Jun waves a casual goodbye to the admiring crowd. But as he turns, his smile vanishes. Lions do not concern themselves with the opinions of sheep. Ambush. An assassin lunges from the brush, blade thirsting for blood. Qin Jun doesn't flinch, effortlessly blocking the lethal strike with a pulse of blue energy. Death rains from above. A female assassin dives, blades flashing. But Qin Jun stands as an immovable fortress, his energy shield deflecting the barrage with a deafening clang. You dare touch him? The black and white impermanents materialize, their ghostly aura freezing the attacker's blood. To harm their master is to invite a swift ticket to hell. Silence returns to the forest. The ghostly guardians report to Qin Jun. The elusive demonic cultivator they've been hunting has finally been tracked down. Warning. Panic flashes in their eyes as a beam of dark energy obliterates the horizon. From the smoke, the demonic cultivator tears through the air, dual swords thirsting for chaos. Ignored by the enemy, Su Giku boils with rage. But the scarred madman cares for nothing else, screaming in a chaotic frenzy, obsessed only with tearing his target apart. The scene shifts to the underworld. Under a cold moon, Qin Jun walks among wailing ghosts. Suddenly, the system chimes, a reward for entering hell, a free god summon. Without hesitation, he activates the summon. Blue data streams swirl against the darkness, coalescing into a massive silhouette. A new powerhouse is about to join the Legion. From the shadows steps Yun Qing, a ghost of breathtaking beauty. The daughter of the demonic cultivator, she bows gracefully, her elegance outshining the gloom of the underworld. In the cold rain, she recounts a tragedy. Her father, once a hero, became a monster who slaughtered his own family. With eyes full of pain, she begs Qin Jun, "Help me stop him." A pact is struck. Handing over a golden talisman, Yun Qing secures his aid. Qin Jun accepts the mission. He will return to the living world and end the nightmare. A tender farewell. Under a soft, romantic glow, Yun Qing reaches out, her touch lingering on his face. "Brother Qin, if only I could go with you." Back in the mortal realm, the team prepares for the capital. Qin Jun calms his eager allies with a mysterious smile. He has a specific expert in mind for this journey. The reveal is blinding. It's Xiao Wujing, the curtain-lifting general, a true god from the legends, his loyalty absolute, ready to crush any who stand in his master's way. Ancient myths clash with reality. Under the city lights, the gods assemble. With the mighty Xiao Wujing now in the fray, Qin Jun's lineup looks truly unstoppable. The towering general kneels. "I, Xiao Wujing, am at your command." Bound by an ancient vow to Qin Jun's ancestors, a terrifyingly powerful shield is added to the team. Strategy finalized. With the wise Tai-Bai jinxing's approval, the roster is set. Fox Demon Daji and Divine General Xiao Wujing. This squad is built for domination. A moment of tenderness. Qin Jun asks the Dragon Princess Xiao Li to wait behind for safety. She agrees with a trusting smile, believing in his inevitable victory. Purple energy erupts. The journey begins. Qin Jun and his elite team stride forward into the unknown. The imperial capital awaits, and they are bringing the storm. The official's stern voice echoes through the plaza. Identity verification is mandatory to enter the portal, and once inside, there is no turning back until the competition ends. Crossing the barrier, Qin Jun senses a shift and smirks knowingly, while the breathtaking sight that follows causes pupils to dilate in sheer amazement. The legendary imperial capital lies ahead, majestic atop the peaks, but the team leader lowers his voice to warn them. Danger lurks beneath this grandeur. Stay close. Surrounded by hidden threats, he closes his eyes to calculate. Though powerful enemies exist, he clutches his ace, Sha Wujing, confident in his escape plan. Whispers of the monsters from Luoyan City buzz through the streets, cut short by a cold official warning. Cause trouble here, and you will pay the price. A mysterious figure blocks their path, offering mentorship, but when Qin Jun politely declines, the man's cold sneer instantly thickens the tension. Suddenly, the sky erupts in crimson light as the massive vermilion bird soars overhead, leaving Qin Jun gazing upward, his eyes wide with disbelief. A beast god appears, trouble follows. The silver-haired man analyzes grimly. Bloody assassinations mixed with this omen signal a coming storm. Staring at the misty peaks, Qin Jun steels himself, while a cold snort from the shadows signals that hidden enemies are finally baring their fangs. In a dim chamber, Li Mengjia clutches purple energy, eyes venomous with loss, just as a black knight assassin emerges from the shadows, bringing a chilling chance for revenge. The shadow whispers through the purple flames, revealing the truth. Li Yuanba is merely the weapon. The true mastermind who must die is Qin Jun. Let's join forces. The shadow dangles the bait, and though suspicious, Li Mengjia's dark gaze wavers, tempted by the chance to crush the rising threat. Jealousy and hate override reason as Li Mengjia grins, sealing the dirty deal. In the darkness, a lethal plot against Qin Jun is born. Back in the courtyard, Qin Jun sips tea with his men, discussing the vermilion bird. In this world, such beasts signify the very destiny of an empire. Tai Bai Jinxing downs his wine, his hazy eyes revealing a profound truth. The prosperity of a dynasty hinges on fortune, guarded by these mythical beasts. Talking of the upcoming tournament, with 100,000 rivals fighting for a few spots, even the arrogant Qin Jun feels the heavy weight of pressure. Instead of worrying, let's take a walk. Seeing the tension, a companion smiles and suggests a stroll to soak in the capital's vibrancy. The market bustles with noise, but as Qin Jun glances at a snake lady, Daji viciously pinches his cheek, filling the air with jealousy and comedy. Just as Qin Jun winces in pain, his gaze sweeps the crowd and freezes. That trapped figure is someone he knows, Yufeng Wang. The arrogant Rohan bullies her with overwhelming pride, but as Yufeng Wang stands her ground, Qin Jun's eyes turn cold, igniting a fire of rage. The masked woman furiously challenges his authority, but Luo Han only smirks, his touch dripping with arrogance and provocation. Suddenly, the announcement His Majesty has arrived shatters his composure instantly. Cold sweat trickles down his face as he is forced to bow his proud head in submission. As the crowd identifies Qin Jun, Luo Han feigns composure, mocking the little eunuch with a sneer. Yet, the beads of sweat on his forehead and his shifting gaze ruthlessly betray the intense anxiety gnawing at him. The situation flips instantly. The white-robed man stands tall, eyes burning with the rage of being deceived. He screams at the kneeling figure, his fury creating a suffocating pressure in the air, as if thunder is about to strike. Before the words settle, Li Yuanba's roar tears through the air, accompanied by the sickening thud of a fist crushing a skull. As the dust settles, Qin Jun steps forward with a playful smile, orchestrating a fateful reunion amidst the bloody carnage. Qin Jun teases the masked woman about their past bet, the atmosphere almost light and flirtatious. Suddenly, a heart-wrenching roar shatters the calm, drowning their banter in an instant wave of murderous rage, dragging everyone back to brutal reality. Purple demonic energy erupts into the sky as the enemy goes berserk amidst the ruins, vowing total slaughter. Qin Jun watches coldly, calculating the rising power level within the chaotic surge, his eyes betraying only calm assessment. A giant palm slams down, cracking the earth, as the figure wrapped in purple light descends like a demon god, eyes filled with destructive ecstasy. Facing this terror, Qin Jun remains immovable, quietly assessing the looming life-or-death battle. A dull explosion resonates as the aggressive blue-haired figure is instantly blasted away, crashing into the ground like a broken kite. Onlookers stare in shock, watching arrogance crumble into dust in a split second. As the dust settles, the once arrogant young master lies cold and lifeless. Servants collapse in terror, their desperate cries echoing through the streets. A storm of vengeance born from death is about to descend. The crowd scatters in panic. The eighth elder of the Divine Sword Hall erupts with blood-red killing intent, his hair standing on end as he roars like an old lion who has lost its cub, vowing blood for blood. They're the ones who killed the young master. With a finger pointed, the eighth elder's lethal gaze locks onto Qin Jun's group instantly. Fury twists his face. The flames of vengeance can no longer be contained, scorching the very air. The elder transforms into a blood-red meteor, charging with earth-shattering momentum. Opposite him, a white figure with massive wings stands silently beneath the starry sky, radiating a sacred, solitary pride, awaiting the moment of judgment. The heavens shift as mythology descends. Qin Jun activates the system, and amidst weaving gold light and red clouds, peerless gods and demons tear through the void to answer his call, heralded by explosive power. Li Yuanba's violent strike is interrupted by cold shout. The white-robed man furrows his brow, sternly reprimanding the reckless aggression, instantly filling the air with the chill of drawn swords. Facing the elder's self-righteous claim of acting for heaven, Qin Jun's eyes flash with disdain as he mocks the man's loss of composure. Wasting no more words, he commands, "Yuanba, kill him for me." Fists howl through the air as they collide instantly. The blue-haired expert's punch strikes with thunderous force, sending sparks flying as every muscle strains in this life-or-death struggle. Li Yuanba descends from the sky wielding his twin hammers, roaring die like a mad demon. Yet, amidst the flames, his opponent merely sneers, mocking the attack as the battle reaches a fever pitch. Don't even think about running. Amidst deafening roars, a vortex of violent energy seals the sky. Through the continuous explosions, pure power vents its will for destruction. Witnessing the terrifying combat power, the golden-haired woman is shaken, secretly guessing at the forces backing Qin Jun. Qin Jun merely smiles calmly, warning that once Yuanba goes mad, no one but Wu Jing can stop him. Greed flashes in Qin Jun's eyes as he recognizes the white tiger bloodline. He turns sharply to the masked woman, his voice dripping with undeniable threat and ambition. Facing absolute power, the gray-haired man falls to his knees in despair. But just as a cold smirk curls Qin Jun's lips, the air erupts with a deafening roar. Negotiations have failed. Li Yuanba descends like a demon god, every strike carrying earth-shattering force. Coughing blood, the blonde rival screams in a desperate, dying rage, "Die! Stop!" A thunderous shout tears through the sky as General Zhou Liang intervenes. The blonde man seizes the chance, twisting the truth to frame his attacker. Gasps erupt from the crowd. Zhou Liang's arrival shifts the tide. Yet in the shadows, a veiled woman trembles, realizing the bald man behind Qin Jun is terrifyingly unfathomable. Without investigation, General Zhou Liang condemns them, firing beams of golden light. The blue-robed swordsman shows no fear, raising his blade to clash against imperial authority. Gold and blue energies collide violently in midair. The shockwave explodes instantly, blurring reality into streaks of light and raw power. Life and death hang by a thread. Amidst the smoke, Sha Wujing calmly halts Qin Jun. In the distance, the old man points a trembling finger at Li Yuanba, screaming hysterically to incite further slaughter. Listening to the slander, Qin Jun narrows his eyes. A chilling, palpitating intent to kill condenses deep within his gaze, barely contained. Shameless old thief. Qin Jun suddenly feigns terror, loudly accusing them of bullying. His exaggerated performance instantly twists the old man's face into a mask of pure fury. Qin Jun's mockery ignites the crowd's fury. Cultivators from the kingdoms roar in anger, tired of the capital's arrogance, swearing to defend their dignity. Qin Jun turns his profile, his expression cold as ice, silence speaking volumes. Below, his opponent is consumed by flames, shouting a cursed vow to tear him apart. Away from the battle, Su Daji teases with seductive eyes, her fingertip tracing Qin Jun's chest. Qin Jun blushes instantly, his killer instinct melting into awkward fluster. Phantoms of gods and demons emerge, symbols of absolute power. With a thunderous boom, a flame-wreathed warrior crashes to earth, kicking up a storm of dust as the ground trembles. The battle escalates. A purple sword beam splits the earth like divine punishment. Spectators are terrified, and even the enemy stands dumbfounded by this sudden surge in power. Li Yuanba fights with wild abandon, his roar shattering the clouds. With pure, unadulterated power, he blasts enemies away like broken kites amidst bursting golden light. Seeing the tide turn, the enemy thinks of retreat. But Qin Jun, eyes burning like torches, calmly commands Sha Wujing. Wujing, bring Yuanba back. General Zhou Liang refuses to yield, determined to uphold the capital's law. Sha Wujing steps forward, shedding his disguise and baring his chest, revealing the ferocious grin of the curtain-lifting general. No more words. Two terrifying forces collide head-on. Light swallows everything, followed immediately by a scream of shattering bones. Victory is decided in an instant. High above, the battle rages. The orange-haired cultivator's face twists in terror, cold sweat dripping as he freezes before an overwhelming, terrifying power. Rain pours down as the blue-haired man stands proud. Amidst the flames, the bearded warrior kneels, fury burning in his eyes despite his defeat. His Highness orders you to stop. With an irrefutable command, the killing intent vanishes instantly, leaving only heavy, unwilling breaths. From a distant rooftop, two women gaze up at the sky. Beneath the calm clouds, an undercurrent capable of shaking the capital is surging. How long will you old geezers just watch? The white-haired youth screams in rage, confronting the sinister-eyed sect leader, Ao Wujian. Ao Wujian esmaios contemptuously. With a flick of his finger, the opponent who was just arrogant now coughs blood, his eyes filled with sheer terror. Trying to flee? Ao Wujian blocks Qin Jun's path, his voice dripping with threat and temptation. If you don't want to suffer, you'd best accept that Song Yun's sex protection. Qin Jun frowns deeply, but Senior Gu's advice echoes in his mind. Your Highness, this competition is a rare opportunity. You must not miss it. Realizing the enemy fears the master behind him, a sharp glint crosses Qin Jun's eyes as he plays along. Fine, see you at the arena tomorrow. Ignoring Ao Wujian's final warning, Qin Jun turns and walks away calmly. Behind him, the aura of his gods and demons makes the very air tremble. Suddenly, the system alarm blares. The Manhua Emperor's divine sense has locked onto them. The life-or-death escape mission begins now. If one comes, I kill one. If two come, I kill both. Under the setting sun, Qin Jun's voice is cold as ice, treating enemies as nothing more than EXP. As they discuss the fallen White Tiger sect, expressions vary. Beside the calm conversation, an uncontrollable rage begins to rise from the golden-haired man. Night falls, and the full moon rises. Though they rest, rumors of today's conflict spread like wildfire throughout the imperial capital. Inside the chamber, golden light erupts. The mission completion chime rings sweetly. Qin Jun breaks through to the 8th stage of the Golden Core realm, eyes full of anticipation. Start the draw. The wheel of fate spins wildly. Amidst the dazzling data stream, a divine power capable of changing the world is about to be born. Samadhi fire. Before the ecstasy fades, terrifying blue flames instantly engulf his body, forcing a pained roar from Qin Jun's throat. The violent energy forms a vortex, threatening to tear his body apart. Floating in midair, Qin Jun struggles with all his might to tame the Red Boy's domineering fire. Boom! The terrifying fluctuation tears through the night sky, shocking every powerhouse in the capital. That direction, is someone undergoing a heaven-defying tribulation? Amidst the thunderous storm, two women tremble in terror and awe, barely able to breathe. Beneath them, a furious golden energy erupts from the earth like a raging dragon. Crisis is imminent. Boom! A terrifying blue shockwave pierces the clouds, tearing through the pitch-black night. Onlookers gaze up at this destructive power, pupils trembling. The ability His Highness has awakened is anything but simple. The silver-haired elder stares in horror, unable to believe his eyes. A golden core cultivator awakening a supernatural ability. Yet, amidst the flames, Qin Jun smirks, his eyes filled with arrogant control and confidence. Flames spiral into a frenzied vortex. Within this extreme heat, Qin Jun snaps his eyes open, eyes that have conquered destruction, and cries out in his heart, I did it! The Samadhi fire dances at his fingertips. This world-burning power inflates his ambition to become a fire god. Yet looking at the scorched ruins beneath his feet, even he draws a sharp breath, falling into deep thought. On the edge of the ruins, Li Yuanba and the others stare silently at the sky-filling flames. This mysterious power from His Highness brings them both reassurance and a profound sense of awe. As the pleasant system notification chimes, Qin Jun breathes a sigh of relief. But then, the reckless brute curiously touches the samadhi fire. A blood-curdling scream follows instantly, and the smell of singing fills the air. All right, you may leave. Qin Jun waves his hand casually, dismissing the flock of admirers with ease. In the corner, the neglected hooded figure awkwardly turns to depart in solitude. Su Daji's eyes swirl with desire as she seductively presses against Qin Jun's chest for a late-night invitation. Meanwhile, the scene shifts abruptly to a battlefield where fists fly and roars mix with screams in raw violence. The night is enchanting, perfect for a summon. Rubbing his hands, Qin Jun prays for the Monkey King with gleaming eyes. With an excited command, a brilliant blue summoning pillar shoots into the sky. As the light fades, it's not the victorious fighting Buddha who steps out, but a handsome man in white. The moment he appears, he shyly confesses to the air, "Daji, actually, ever since the day I saw you." The air seems to freeze. The man in white stares obsessively at the peerless enchantress, blushing furiously, while Su Daji simply smirks, her eyes hiding depths and teasing intent that cannot be read. "Your Highness, look into my eyes." Su Daji's voice is as sweet as honey, yet carries an irresistible magic. Qin Jun instantly freezes, pinned in place by this overwhelming charm, unable to move a muscle. In this dreamlike blue halo, Qin Jun looks at the woman who feels both familiar and strange, blurting out in shock, "It's you?" In this moment, an ambiguous atmosphere quietly spreads between them. "If you want me, you must be stronger than me." Facing Daji's provocation, Qin Jun grits his teeth and vows to gain power. Suddenly, the mood shifts. A beauty in his arms, her gentle advance reward, instantly melting his heart. Flower petals drift through the air as Su Daji nestles in Qin Jun's arms, whispering softly, "Work hard, Your Highness." This gentle encouragement becomes the ultimate motivation for his ruthless conquest in the cultivation world. Early the next morning, the peace is shattered. Outside, a Taoist in yellow robes shamelessly demands to see Qin Jun, arguing loudly with the guards and rudely waking Qin Jun from his sweet dreams. "What's all the noise this early?" Qin Jun throws open the door, roaring with morning grumpiness. Yet at that moment, the system pops up. That crazy Taoist blocked outside is actually the legendary leader of the Yellow Turbans, Zhang Jiao. As the light fades, Qin Jun looks at the system panel with anticipation, but his hope instantly turns to shock upon seeing Golden Core Realm, his eyes widening in disbelief. Despite the mediocre cultivation, the word demagogy sparks a realization. Remembering the massive historical uprising, Qin Jun's worry turns to laughter. This is the very weapon needed to topple the dynasty. The straightforward Li Yuanba protests, pointing at Zhang Jiao in dissatisfaction. Qin Jun smiles calmly, gently reminding his fierce general that in this world, intellect sometimes strikes harder than fists. Zhang Jiao displays remarkable poise, quickly integrating into the team and introducing new allies. Just as they exchange pleasantries, an urgent announcement breaks the peace. All cultivators must gather at the summit of the Imperial Palace. Sunlight bathes the courtyard as Zhang Jiao gazes deeply at Qin Jun's back. Introductions are over. The real contest is about to begin, and everyone's fate converges on that magnificent structure. Clad in snow-white robes, Qin Jun leads his gods and demons through the clouds. In the distance, a solitary pagoda pierces the sky, standing amidst a churning sea of clouds, radiating a suffocatingly solemn aura. From above, the massive stone square teems with cultivators standing in orderly rows. A strange green beam slices through the sky, heralding the extraordinary and mysterious nature of this gathering. Whispers ripple through the crowd, marveling at the royal family's influence. Suddenly, the sky changes and the colossal projection of Emperor Luo descends, blanketing the arena with an invisible, awe-inspiring imperial pressure. Emperor Luo's majestic voice resonates through the clouds, announcing the brutal selection rules. Thousands will vie for limited spots, and only those who best absorb the underground dragon vein chi will enter the Thunder Pool or gain official titles. In a corner, mysterious figures whisper. Despite Emperor Luo's imposing presence, the old man casts a gloomy gaze toward the depths of the palace, where an existence seemingly more terrifying than the emperor hides. The rules are simple. Compare the height of chi pillars. It's an open plot favoring high cultivation, seemingly disadvantageous to Qin Jun, but a smirk tugs at his lips. He already has a plan to bridge the gap with his skills. Qin Jun turns to the beast beside him, commanding coldly, Yuanba, go there and absorb with full force. Hold nothing back. Li Yuanba's eyes glow with bloodthirsty red light as he accepts, a sign of the eruption to come. Boom! Li Yuanba unleashes his suppressed power. A terrifying pillar of crimson fire erupts from the ground, shooting into the sky like a volcano, shaking the very earth violently. The dual chi pillars formed by Qin Jun and Li Yuanba are like two vicious dragons, greedily devouring all surrounding spiritual energy. This domineering act forces other cultivators to flee in terror, sending the scene into chaos. On the high platform, the VIPs watch with varying expressions. Su Daji's beautiful eyes shimmer with amusement, a playful smile on her lips. Causing such a scene, the lofty Emperor Luo won't be able to sit still for long. Just then, thunder explodes within Qin Jun. Borrowing the massive dragon vein chi, his violet rainbow thunder art breaks through mid-battle, golden lightning instantly coating his body to form indestructible armor. Ding! Obtained a trace of dragon chi. The system notification sounds like a heavenly melody. That is the breath of a true dragon, reserved only for emperors. Ambition burns fiercely in Qin Jun's eyes. The throne shall be his. The arena descends into utter chaos. The suction force from Li Yuanba is too terrifying. Affected cultivators scream in despair, forced to flee scrambling toward Qin Jun just to survive and stay in the match. With a deafening roar, a sphere of golden energy erupts instantly, mercilessly blasting away any opponents in its path. The brutal first round concludes. Only the truly strong earn the right to ascend the palace peak and heed the unknown imperial summons. Under the night sky, allies look grave. This sudden summons feels eerie, suspiciously like a treacherous hangmen feast from which there is no return. The heavy palace gates rumble open like the maw of a beast. Qin Jun and his party step fearlessly into the hall of Luo Qian, the symbol of supreme power. Inside the grand hall, the atmosphere is oppressive as officials stand in silence, all eyes fixed on a high platform, the emperor of the Manhua dynasty. Facing the ill-intentioned probe, Qin Jun flashes a look of disdain, his words sharp and unyielding, showing zero respect for the so-called imperial dignity. With a dull thud, the heavy doors seal shut. The air fills with a suffocating, murderous aura. The real crisis has arrived. The dagger is revealed. The guard behind finally sheds his disguise, bearing fangs. But this despicable ambush was within Qin Jun's expectations all along. In a flash, Qin Jun counters. Violent red and black energy erupts instantly, blasting the assassin backward in a spray of blood. Before the smoke clears, imperial guards swarm in like a tide. The solemn palace instantly transforms into a slaughterhouse filled with carnage. Facing the emperor's judgment, Qin Jun shows no fear but bursts into wild laughter. Ultimate contempt and provocation against the rotting imperial power. If you want war, you shall have it. Qin Jun stares coldly at the emperor, his killing intent sharper than ice, vowing to overturn this dynasty. The battle ignites fully. Aerial clashes move like lightning. Every impact sending out devastating energy, as if tearing the very space apart. Allies outside hear a familiar roar, and their faces change. That's Li Yuanba's fury. His Highness is in danger. Everyone attack. From the sky, beams of light crash down with destructive force, cracking the earth and making the entire palace tremble under godlike power. Break! With a sky-shaking roar, the golden defensive formation shatters inch by inch before absolute power, enveloping the enemy in instant terror. Despite their overwhelming terror, the Imperial Guards charge head-on, trying to stop the invincible god of slaughter with their flesh and blood. With a sharp crack, the palace's golden defensive formation shatters. A torrent of red energy sweeps through, blasting away the guards like dry leaves as they scream in panic. A devastating shockwave ripples outward from Luo Qian Hall, the blinding golden explosion shaking the entire Imperial Palace peak to its core with terrifying force. Amidst the smoke and despair, soldiers scatter in terror, but the eerie chime of a bell seals their fate. A chilling, ghostly aura descends instantly. Black and white impermanence have arrived. A cold smile plays on Qin Jun's lips as he issues a ruthless kill order. Black and white impermanence vanish and reappear before their prey, their deadly presence leaving the cultivator paralyzed with fear. With eyes full of contempt, the silver-haired powerhouse unleashes a roaring dragon of flames that instantly blasts his opponent away, displaying a despairing gap in power. Witnessing the materialized flame dragon's soul, the black-haired man's pupils shrink in terror. Cold sweat runs down his face as the destructive pressure steals his very breath. A fist filled with killing intent slams down wrapped in flames, the explosion swallowing everything. The heavily injured opponent coughs up blood, his eyes still wide with the terror of a near-death experience. Meanwhile, killing intent explodes elsewhere. A brown-haired man with a twisted expression gathers a violent ball of lightning energy, hurling it towards the silhouette with lethal determination. At the critical moment, Sha Wujing bursts onto the scene with majestic momentum. His roar, "Your Highness, I have arrived," explodes like thunder, instantly stunning the battlefield and turning the tide. Li Yuanba swings his massive hammers like a god of war, shaking the earth with every strike. Seeing this, the enemy elder is struck with terror, screaming for retreat with his fighting spirit completely shattered. Trying to run? No chance. Red Boy steps through the void, a fire dragon roaring behind him. The merciless flames instantly catch up to the fleeing enemy, blasting them into chaos. Li Bai's sword energy strikes like a rainbow, killing a man every 10 steps with poetic arrogance. Yet the powerful enemies watching from afar, oblivious to their doom, dare to mock and advise Qin Jun to retreat. Hearing this, a trace of mockery and coldness flashes in Qin Jun's eyes. He raises his head slightly and asks with imperial dominance, "Ask me to leave? And where would I put my dignity then? Since the facade is torn, let the war begin." Black and white impermanents accept the order with eerie cackles, vowing to tear a chunk of flesh from the Southern Jua dynasty as the fangs of vengeance are bared. The purple-clad assassin descends from the sky with a roar, directing violent energy at the man in snowy white. Yet facing this lethal strike, the target stands motionless, too composed to even open his eyes. "You take me for a sick cat because I haven't shown my claws?" The white-clad man suddenly erupts with Samadhi true fire, instantly engulfing his enemy, whose curdling screams echo through the unquenchable flames. The golden-haired war goddess's gaze is electric as her massive golden palm strike descends with judgment-like authority. The giant word death seems to seal the enemy's fate, offering no escape. Tai Bai jinxing wastes no more words, moving like a phantom. Within merely 3 moves, his fierce offensive forces the arrogant elder of the Sword Hall to cough blood. This is the power of a celestial god. After casually blasting away the obstacle, Qin Jun stands beneath the vast sky, gazing coldly at the distant palace. No rush to leave. We kill Emperor Luo first. Beside him, the elder bows slightly, radiating chilling killing intent. Destruction descends from the sky. 2 golden beams pierce the cityscape with suffocating pressure, instantly igniting the fires of war. High above, Qin Jun and his demons soar with revolutionary zeal. Meanwhile, in a silent room below, an unknown storm approaches a sleeping figure. Peace is shattered by a celestial anomaly. Looking up in terror at the thunderous oppression, the robed figures scream in despair. "Stop him." In the killing rain, Qin Jun stands proud amidst lightning. Facing provocation, his energy erupts, blasting enemies away as a divine beast looms behind him. The battle escalates, golden fire clashing with purple light. Divine Sword Hall experts descend, but Qin Jun's side faces the explosions without fear. Sword Chief forces the enemy to flee. Meanwhile, Tai Bai jinxing grimly analyzes the situation. The Divine Sword Hall is powerful, and the capital's defenses are impregnable. Hearing this, Qin Jun's gaze darkens. Standing in the clouds, they realize escaping the imperial capital will require a desperate, inevitable battle. "Forget the formations. I'll kill Emperor Luo first." Qin Yun raus. But Tai Bai changes the subject to the Thunder Bathing Pool, a rare chance for body refinement. Before he finishes, a blinding golden light erupts in the distance. A massive boom shakes the valley, destroying ancient structures instantly. Smoke clears, revealing a once noble prince now bloodied and pinned down. The enemy leader, eyes murderous, orders coldly, "Bring him here, I'll execute him myself." Emperor Luo, D. Qin Jun charges like a meteor. Luo blocks in shock and rage. Gold light explodes, igniting the sky with vengeful fury. Taunts mix with explosions as chaos reigns. Experts clash in the air, Every cry of arrogant is punctuated by earth-shattering energy blasts. Who are you? Uncestual by Gongsu demands. From the shadows, wearing a skull pauldron, Xiao Wujing emerges, his cold introduction locking down the battlefield. No more words, just peak power colliding. Space cracks like a mirror. Blinding white light and a deafening boom swallow everything. Victory in an instant. Xiao Wujing's blade, dripping with killing intent, pierces Bei Gongzu's chest. I want you dead. This strike severs the dynasty's last hope. As the enemy falls, the system chimes. Wrapped in golden light, Qin Jun is shocked to feel the Emperor's vast dragon aura surging wildly into his body. The energy vortex explodes, and the enemy falls. System notifications spam the vision as Qin Jun's cultivation skyrockets, breaking through bottlenecks. A domineering main mission is triggered. 100 killings of emperors. A golden list of rewards floats into view. 4 level-ups, god summoning, skill inheritance. This is a high-stakes gamble, a heart-pounding opportunity to ascend to the heavens. Qin Jun can't hide his excitement, grinning widely. To Daji's surprise, he casually mentions a breakthrough, leaving the white-haired elder nearby dumbfounded, as if staring at a monster. While Qin Jun proudly explains absorbing the dragon aura, the battle rages on in the distance. Xiao Wujing is powerful, but Bei Gongzu matches him blow for blow, making the outcome dangerously uncertain. Facing an unbeatable opponent, Bei Gongzu grimaces in pain, but resolve flashes in his eyes. He must escape. Only by bringing reinforcements can he save the Nan Zhuo dynasty from ruin. A fist smashes into the void, hitting nothing. Seeing the enemy escape, the bald warrior roars in fury, plunging the surroundings into a chaos of shock, pain, and raging killing intent. Hearing of the ancestors' escape, Qin Jun doesn't rage but sneers coldly. With Emperor Luo dead, no one in Nanzhua can stop him. Just then, the true opportunity, the Thunder Pool, reveals itself. Before the smoke clears, Qin Jun locks onto a new target. He waves over Li Yuanba, his gaze burning with purpose, pointing straight toward the legendary Thunder Pool without a moment's delay. Lightning tears through the sky above the Thunder Pool, striking fear into onlookers. In the shadows, sneaky figures whisper, plotting to call upon their sect master to assassinate Qin Jun. The group steps into the icy cave, suffocated by the sight of the churning blue thunder plasma. Though fear washes over them, this is power that can change fate. Who wouldn't be tempted? Qin Jun steps naked into the thunder pool, and violent currents instantly tear at his skin. Daji teases from the side, forcing him to grit his teeth and refuse to back down. Agony pierces the bone, as if a fire dragon awakens and roars within him. Hearing Daji's sharp reminder, Qin Jun snaps to attention and activates his technique, attempting to tame the violent thunder. While Qin Jun focuses on cultivation, the gods and demons quickly organize a formidable defense. Inside the cave, thunder crackles and golden dragon aura begins to spiral around him. Transformation is underway. 10 days fly by. The outside world boils with the name Overlord, but the cave remains eerily quiet. Watching the diamond-like body in the thunder pool, everyone holds their breath. The king is about to awaken. Suddenly, the long-awaited system chime rings out. The monthly summoning chance has refreshed. Qin Jun suppresses his excitement and immediately initiates the summon, hoping for the arrival of another powerful god. As the golden light fades, a talisman capable of completely hiding one's aura appears. Not a god general, but a perfect artifact for assassination. Qin Jun's eyes twinkle as a new scheme forms in his mind. The group waiting outside senses a disturbance. From the darkness, the massive, lightning-wreathed form of the roaring sky, Dog, suddenly emerges. Immediately, an aura of devastating power explodes. Old fool, do you want to die? A furious roar shatters the silence. The white-haired elder, boiling with killing intent, strikes with green energy, forcing his opponent to dodge in a blur of speed. A terrifying storm of energy explodes instantly. Amidst the deafening boom, the seemingly unstoppable figure is swallowed whole by the blue aura of death in the blink of an eye. Meanwhile, violent tremors shake the deep cave. The unknown energy fluctuations tense everyone's nerves as a sense of unease quietly spreads. Your Highness, Bei Gongzu is back. Before Su Daji's warning fades, Qin Jun senses the unmasked, arrogant aura outside, a blatant provocation. They were confident in Xiao Wujing's strength, thinking a mere demonic weapon was no threat. But a second later, those confident smiles froze on their faces. Thunderclouds roll across the sky as a bizarre, giant pair of eyes slowly opens in the storm center. That gaze from a higher dimension casts a shadow of despair over everyone's hearts. No time for words, the battle erupts instantly. Guns roar, axes slash, and the air is filled with a suffocating, murderous aura. Who the hell are you? The enemy's terrified question is met only by a pair of cold, glowing eyes. Ask in hell. Wrapped in golden lightning, Li Yuanba swings his giant axe like a berserk god of war, while the old man with the green sword roars in defiance, meeting this arrogant power head-on. The battlefield turns into a blur. The enemy's speed is barely visible, leaving only the piercing sound of tearing air and trails of deadly green light. It's a demonic sword. The old man's terrified scream reveals the truth. The eerie eyes in the sky resonate with the devilish weapon below, pushing despair to its peak as chaos reigns. In a single clash, overwhelming power crashes down like a collapsing mountain. On the brink of death, a desperate cry rings out. "Senior Gu, save me!" With a thunderous boom, even the powerful Sha Wujing is defeated in seconds. Watching his figure fly backward, eyes widen in disbelief and horror. It's over. Seeing imminent defeat, subordinates anxiously urge Qin Jun. "Your Highness, use the Yin Yang escape. We'll risk our lives to escort you to the underworld for refuge. Can you take everyone?" The answer is no. Knocked to the ground, Qin Jun grits his teeth and stands up, unyielding fire burning in his eyes. If we can't leave, then it's time to reveal our true trump card. Just as despair sets in, the mysterious Colossus finally intervenes. Qin Jun looks up at the purple phantom and bows deeply. "Thank you, Senior Gu, for your assistance." With strong reinforcements, morale soars. Li Yuanba roars, shielding Qin Jun, vowing they must step over his corpse to hurt his highness. The horn of counterattack sounds. Purple light outlines the mysterious expert's cold smile. The deal is struck. Since the payment is accepted, none of the invading enemies shall leave here alive today. I swore to serve your highness forever. How could I cling to life here? The roaring sky dog howls, transforming into its true ancient mythical form, bathed in raging fire and overwhelming ferocity. Jaws wide, fangs bared. The mythical beast berserk power violently crushes the deadly green beam, emitting a bone-chilling sound of shattering energy. The roaring heavenly hound bellows as it meets the terrifying green energy, its explosive power shocking the onlookers. The system's cold voice echoes in Qin Jun's mind, revealing that the beast is breaking its limits to protect its master. In an instant, a massive beastly silhouette dominates the night sky, weaving a storm of destruction with purple lightning. Holding nothing back, the hound unleashes its full, terrifying mythological pressure, shaking the entire battlefield. The ground turns into a sea of fire as civilians flee in terror. Yet the purple-flamed monster ignores them, staring down at the hound with greedy arrogance. A descendant of the heavenly hound? I'll give you 3 minutes. Be my pet, or die. The situation deteriorates instantly. Qin Jun roars in panic, ordering Sha Wujing and Tai Bai, jinxing, to rush to the rescue. A golden figure transforms into a streak of light, charging desperately into the all-consuming purple abyss to relieve the pressure on the hound. But the enemy is despairingly strong. The golden Arhot's attack is futile, and even Su Daji is trapped in the devil's grasp, her life hanging by a thread. Watching his companions face death, Qin Jun's eyes tear with helpless rage. Damn it! Are we really going to die here? Just as despair threatens to swallow reason, the system's chime sounds like salvation. Red Boy, a true immortal, has arrived. Qin Jun's pupils dilate, the gloom in his eyes instantly replaced by wild ecstasy and hope. True Samadhi fire tears through the sky as Red Boy descends arrogantly on flames, laughing wildly. Standing in the freezing rain, Qin Jun channels his pent-up rage into a single command. "Red Boy, beat him into the ground."